Well, we are back, huh? We're back at the 9 Club, everybody, today. Ooh, we got a special guest. Neckface is with us.
Spooky guest.
Yeah, special spooky guest.
I wish we had Halloween sounds edition, and fucking...
Can add that post.
Ooh, how are you, bro? Oh, there he is.
Special
guest.
Special like how? Like a rolled in on yellow bus?
It's just how you interpret it, man.
Yeah.
You can interpret it your own
the
way.
whole time about your guest? Special ed?
Oh, wow.
Oh shit, I gotta wear the
Dude,
headphones.
the mask leaves shit in your hair, bro. You got flakes.
It's all right, man.
Okay, there it goes. You look
Looking
great
good.
now,
Yeah.
bro. You look great. Does it take a lot to maintain that hair, bro?
Yeah, dude, it's either this or dreadlocks. But pretty much everything. Whoa. Hello.
Oh, yeah.
There's the voice.
This is all, everything's lazy.
Oh, yeah.
Don't need a haircut.
Nope.
Just hair growth.
Right.
Beard.
Yep.
I don't need to shave my face every day.
Mask.
Mask if I'm trying to hide from somebody.
That's quite a fucking mask right there, bro.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Thanks, man. Latex. It's got hair on it. Kind of looks like Braden.
No, Braden.
This dude's pissed off that Braden got a tattoo of him on his face.
You didn't make that, did you?
Nah.
Okay.
I designed it, and I found this dude in Texas who makes masks.
Okay.
And
Sick.
then he was like, "You want me to do it in your style?" Because I've made masks and shit before too. I make masks out of metal and paper mache and shit.
Right.
And he's like, "You want me to make it in your style?" And I was like, "Nah, dude. We gotta make this. Like, let's do your style and my style combined. You know, or else I'll just do it."
Did you see how he did it? I mean, that's a mask you would buy at a like a high end fucking
Halloween store.
Yeah.
Shit's on Hollywood Boulevard right now.
Seriously.
But I sell these things for like $700 or some shit.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
So you actually make those for sale?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's not even like 10.
Oh shit. Well, thank you so much for that, bro.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
I know you guys are running out of rent money, so
Yes, please.
We need all the help we can get.
Yeah.
Nick, let me tell you something. Now, it's still nasty neck face? You didn't drop the nasty. Still nasty neck face.
in more capital letters than ever.
Okay. The more caps, the better.
Nasty neck.
And you came with your own backdrop. I love
came with
this,
my own
bro.
backdrop.
9 Club, Halloween.
We got one guy throwing up right here.
Oh, the pumpkin's
Oh, he's
Ralphing.
spewing.
This guy's saying sick.
What's the other dude saying?
He's just chilling.
This dude's like, I don't know these dudes.
That's me over here.
Yeah, that's Raj. It's Raj after a couple hi-fi hops. He's like, oh, I don't even know. Everything good, though? You
Everything's
chilling?
good, man.
Yeah, working hard, man. You
Working
got
hard.
a lot of shit going on?
Halloween, October, Necktober. This is the busiest time of the year for me.
Yeah, dude.
October. And I got I got some big events. I always got big events on Halloween. Mm-hmm. And for a while, I tried to not be the Halloween dude.
Why?
Like, I don't know. I kind of didn't want to get
Like pigeonholed into that?
pigeonholed into being the Halloween guy.
It's a hard thing to hold on all year too.
Dude, and then it just became like I just
do every holiday.
I became the Halloween guy. That was it. I tried to not do shit on Halloween, and fools still be hitting my phone up. What are we doing on Halloween? What do you got going? I was like, I ain't doing nothing this year. What do you got? What do you got going? And I was like, fuck, there ain't no escaping this. So
Got to do something.
Halloween.
Well, last year you did a haunted house.
Last year I did a haunted house with Stance. And
I heard that went off. I couldn't make it, but
it went off, dude. I know a chick who showed up. She was like, I was like, you didn't even come to my show. She was like, there wasn't no parking. I was like, it took me like a year and a half to get this shit going together, and you couldn't find parking. You took off after 15 minutes.
circled the block a couple times.
Week.
Wow,
But,
a year and a half.
Uber.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Where was it?
It was downtown. What street is that? Anderson Street.
Was it like a warehouse?
Oh,
or
you
something
know
like
where
that, or?
you know where Ave did that crooked grind across the street gap?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was on that street.
Okay.
Right down the street.
That's quite the planning.
Yeah.
A year and a half.
Yeah, with Stance and I told him, I was like, I got this event because I've done this before.
Okay.
I got this event. It's a haunted house connected to an art show, and I make everyone go in through the haunted house
Right.
in order to get to the art show. And the haunted house is ran by my family. My family's been doing a haunted house for like over 40 years.
What?
Oh, would they turn their own house into a haunted house on Halloween? Okay.
Yeah,
That explains a lot right there.
in my hometown, like I grew up into this shit, like straight up. Like my oldest brother, he used to be like he was like in the 3rd grade, and he'd have like a cardboard box just sitting on the front porch. And then all these kids would come up and he'd just jump out, right? It started
Gotcha.
like that, and then it just built up to like a huge haunted house. And like every Halloween we'd have a haunted house in front of my house that I grew up in.
Okay.
And the whole neighborhood would come and check it out.
So
And,
it was
like,
a thing.
yeah. We got like 2 storage units full of like Halloween shit.
Damn.
Oh wow.
So the first time I did it was in Miami for this gallery, and I flew my whole family out to Miami,
Okay.
and all the stuff like on pallets and shit, like all the Halloween.
You took
props
the
and
storage
stuff,
units and brought them.
straight up, and then we did the haunted house. Had people running through the haunted house. Like one of the last things that you feel is like my dad comes out with a fake chainsaw. He's like, zoom, and then fucking just people just start booking, dude. And so you make it through this haunted house, and then boom, your reward is my art show.
Okay.
And hopefully that's even scarier than the haunted house. But there was girls like, I pissed my pants. Like,
It's that scary.
yeah, and I think it's scary because it's like it's just my family. Like, we're not professionals and shit.
Yeah.
It's just my family, and it's like sketchy. You're like, you could see like the duct tape holding some shit up or something. And you're like, this shit might fall on my head.
Those are some of the best haunted houses.
Yeah,
though.
so it's like you're actually like fearing for your life. And we got like, I mean, we are professionals now. Like my family, like my little brother, he does like, he'll be like this pig butcher guy.
Okay.
And then like my mom, she's like a witch. My aunt's like another witch holding like this witch baby and shit. And then we got my Uncle Gabriel. My Uncle Gabriel, he holds it down, but sometimes he gets a little too drunk and he like, I don't know. One year at my parents' house, he got in a fight with some chick, Wendy, who was dressed up as Wendy from Wendy's. And he was like, that fucking bitch, Wendy. She fucking hated me. She was like, he tried to scare her, and she like socked him.
Oh, wow.
Or some shit. And then
That was kind of a lot.
It's fake. It's fake. It's
we know like you're like the rules, like you're not supposed to touch people and shit.
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But some people get fucking scared and sock my Uncle Gabriel. But yeah, we've been doing this haunted house for years, dude. And I fly my family out to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them never even been on a plane before.
Seriously.
Wow.
Put them up in a hotel and shit. And then we do the haunted house, and then I did one here in LA in 2000 and was that 9 or some shit.
Oh, way back
And
then.
it was on La Brea across the street from Undefeated. It's like a Stone Island building now. It's like when it
Okay.
was not occupied. Like I took that whole place and I made it into a haunted house. Had a mini ramp in there.
Oh, sick.
And had an art show and shit.
And then this year, Necktoberfest.
Necktoberfest.
Is Gabriel coming in? Uncle Gabriel?
Uncle Gabriel
flying
might,
in?
He might come in, dude. He's on the Greyhound right now.
He's on the Greyhound takes a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Necktoberfest is gonna be, something a little more mellow. It's gonna I call it like a ghetto, like kind of Woodstock festival type thing.
Interesting.
And
I like that.
and it's gonna be in the parking lot of Black, my bar in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the first time we ever had an event in the parking lot.
Dope.
And it's just gonna be like, I'm gonna paint all the walls in there, just so people could get their fucking little Instagram photos and shit.
Sure.
And then I got a bunch of merch for sale. And then we got like a Day of the Dead mariachi band playing. We got Sergio from the Deftones DJing, and we got Voodoo Ranger sponsoring. It's
Wow.
a beer company.
Sounds like a big event.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's-
you said it's going to be mellow, but I mean, at the same time. Shit.
Yeah, it's gonna be big, dude. But I'm trying to keep it as mellow as possible because I could have went really big and went somewhere else, but I was like, dude, I'm gonna keep it small.
Right.
So when I do another one, I'm be like, remember when we had that shit in the parking lot and it was all small and shit? Now we got a bigger parking lot and now we're doing a bigger event,
Yeah.
Right.
I got to show the process. So I can't come in too hot.
That's right.
Is that going to be on Halloween or?
That's on the 27th of October, which is Sunday. Halloween falls on like a Thursday or something.
Okay.
Okay, so
Or,
Sunday before
you know,
it, right?
Yeah, so
Cool.
And I got a big ass costume contest. I told everyone to dress up as one of my characters, so hopefully someone comes in looking like this.
There you go. Do you dress up?
I dress up, but right now I haven't thought of an idea yet. But usually, I mean, hopefully like some kind of celebrity passes away, and then I'll just be that.
You'll just,
That's usually my
that's usually your
my
MO.
go-to
Oh,
move.
man.
Yeah,
But you don't dress up as your own shit. You
No.
go as something. You go as something else.
yeah. I don't dress up as my own characters.
Okay.
I don't even wear like my own product. Like if I have
No?
to make a shirt like with my design on it, I'm not wearing it.
Why?
I don't know. It's
Too
kinda,
much.
Yeah, I ain't trying to be like that dude. Like, hey, I'm this guy. Like I got head to
Right.
toe all shit that I designed.
Yeah.
It's like that shit is so weak to me.
You got a neck hat,
Yeah,
shirt,
like, yeah, this is
jacket.
Yeah,
The shoes on too.
you ain't catching me like that.
Dude, you've done a lot of shit. We're gonna get into all this coat labs, and I mean, you've done a lot, dude. And
Yeah.
but you actually came from like a big family, right? You have like 4 brothers,
Got 4 brothers,
and
dude.
they all skated, right? Didn't you?
My oldest brother skate. Yeah, they all skate. Mm-hmm. My two oldest brothers were the ones who set it off. They skated. They were all into like Hosoi, Roskop,
Sick.
and all that shit. And like people ask like, what's the first video I ever seen? And I think it was Streets of Fire, because I remember being a little kid and watching them watch this video. And they were like, whoa, check that. Oh, my God, he just did that. And I just remember fire.
Fire.
I just remember fire in the video. And I was like, dude, that's for sure the first video I seen.
Because you didn't know what they were doing on the screen.
Nah, I just remember my brothers being so hyped, and I remember there was fire on the screen. So that's
where it all started.
That's got to be the first video, yeah. Streets of Fire.
And then you just skated with them, right? You would just grab a board and just roll around and shit.
What happened is these fools skated, and like there was never like you know how people are like, oh, I picked up my first board in
Yeah, I went to a bike shop. and
1983 or
whatever,
some
yeah.
shit. It's like that shit. Skateboarding has been around me my whole life, so it's like I don't know when I picked a board up.
There was
You know,
always something around.
It was always
Yeah.
there.
Right.
So it's just like been there forever, and yeah, just fucking started skating, taking apart their old boards and putting them together. And then my oldest brother, he's a comic book collector, and he collected all these old Thrashers and shit. So I'd be in the garage, like this garage, like my parents' garage is crazy. It's like a cave of just like all these artifacts and shit. And I'd find like old boards, old wheels, old trucks and shit. And then I found this stash of old Thrashers, and they're still they're like in comic book plastic and shit. So I'm looking at all these issues, and I'm like, holy shit. And I'm just
Damn.
like, I didn't know it, but I'm doing like my own research, like back research, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm checking out all these old magazines and shit, and just studying and just checking it all out.
Crazy that he had them in plastic. I
Yeah.
mean, comic book collector, yeah, but I mean, a Thrasher, like, that's amazing.
Yeah, he still got them too.
Damn.
Were you into comic books too?
Nah, I don't really read.
No. But you can look at the pictures, right?
Yeah. I've never read a whole book ever in my life, for real. Like the most reading I do is Thrasher magazine.
I love it because you have 2 books of your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's all pictures in there, man. I can't check that one off yet where I said I wrote a book.
Right. You made a book.
Yeah, I made a book.
You made 2
Yeah.
books.
Yep.
And
Nah,
a zine. You got a zine coming out, too.
I got a zine coming out. It's called Trust Us, You're Dead, Part 2. And this zine is me and my friend Weirdo Dave.
Weird. I
And
like that name.
Weirdo Dave's like one of my best friends, and he lives in New York. He does a lot of work for Supreme.
Oh, sick.
Like anytime you see some shit that Supreme makes with like kind of collage work or whatever,
that's him.
he made it.
Dope.
Good.
Oh, sick.
And then my friend Nick, these 2 guys are like my anytime I'm like kind of have to make a decision if I want to do something, I already got kind of idea in my head,
Right.
but I run it by these dudes, and I'm like, what do you guys think? And then they'll tell me pretty much what I was thinking. I was like, all right, cool.
But they'll tell you if you're off. They'll
If it's
tell you.
whack, yeah.
They'll tell you that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And-
good to have people around like
Yeah,
that, though.
straight up. And
Don't
that's
want a
how
bunch of yes men.
that's how I am to anybody, you know.
Right.
But like, yeah, your shit, that trick was kind of Sketchy.
Budge.
You might want to
That's
do that
good.
again.
Go back and do it.
Hell yeah, that's good.
And then you just grew up skating, and what did you moved to New York eventually, or you started doing art and like graffiti
Yeah,
at
so-
home here,
So
NorCal, right?
NorCal. So I'm from Northern California. The same two oldest brothers, these dudes got into graffiti.
Okay.
And then they started doing graffiti. They do like traditional graffiti. And they owned a graffiti shop connected to my dad's tire shop. My dad owns a tire shop.
Why
And
do they sell at a graffiti shop? What is that?
well, back then you would sell like markers,
Spray paint?
Caps and all
spray
that.
paint,
Yeah.
caps, magazines.
Gotcha.
My
Okay.
brother did airbrush shirts and shit,
Oh, dope.
mixtapes. What else? Like some tribal con art, like graffiti clothes, you know,
Okay.
like graffiti streetwear and
Yeah.
shit. And they'd have like breakdance competitions and like barbecues and shit.
Oh, they
And-
were in it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they had like a couple legal walls there, like people go there and paint and shit.
Dope.
And my mom, she got 5 boys, and I'm the worst one,
The worst.
the biggest troublemaker.
child.
And she would just drop us off at the graffiti shop with my brothers and be like, zoom, just be out of there. And she'd
Right.
be like, you guys take them. And so we'd be there, and it was kind of like skate shop vibes, you know, like people there, like just fucking drinking 40s, like
Bullshit.
someone had a piercing machine, or they're piercing like their hand or their ear and shit, like just fucking around.
Did you ever get some piercings?
Nah, I haven't got no piercings yet.
Okay.
Prince Albert.
But so I'm super little, and I'm running around this graffiti shop, and in the back there's like cans everywhere, just like empty cans everywhere. And I'm picking up cans and I'm putting a cap on that I found or some shit, and I could barely squeeze the tip, and I'm like, you know, pressing down on it.
Yeah.
Writing
Your
like
whole hand.
writing fuck on the wall or something, you know. And I guess that's like the first graffiti I started doing right there.
Right.
But yeah, and that's pretty much how I got into graffiti.
Were you always drawing though? Like, I know you picked up the spray can, but were you drawing as well?
Yeah, always drawing. Always.
What'd your art teacher think of you in high school?
Oh, my art teacher was a bitch. she
didn't like you?
Her name was Miss Lewis, and she was a PE teacher, and she got like, so they needed to fill in the fucking art class thing, so she was like, I'll do it.
Right.
And then so I was the only one in high school who did art class from freshman year to senior year. And then I was the only one like in the art class consecutively or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
And then she was like, oh, this guy knows more than me. And so I became like the teacher's pet, right? And then she's like, hey, next semester, what are we going to do? And I was like, well, let's fucking do silk screening. Let's order all these. So
Oh, sick.
I was in charge of like ordering supplies and shit.
Oh, that's rad.
So I'd order like all these like sick ass supplies, and then they'd come in, and then I'd just steal them. Take that shit home and have my own art class.
Today, I guess we're doing nothing. There's nothing here.
So I'd order like doubles, and then
Okay.
some shit would show up missing. And then I'd come back with like a sick ass silk screen shirt.
Did you ever get caught?
Hell no.
Okay, you were slick.
Yeah. So but yeah. So pretty much self-taught with all my shit, because that lady, she didn't know what the fuck she was doing.
Right.
So I was just doing my own shit, and then like it was pretty fun. There's a part in class where we'd get to critique people's artwork, and then they hated me when it come to me. Come to me, I'd be like, that shit's weak. It looks like you didn't even try. Fucking like, why'd you even use that color? I'm just talking so much shit on this fucking thing in front of the whole class, right?
Right.
And then like these kids would hate me. And then when it got to my shit being on the wall and the kids critiquing it, they would try to tear into me and be like, "Oh, fuck, why'd you do this?" or whatever. And I'd be like, "Whatever, I don't care."
Yeah.
And they'd get so much more pissed because I don't give a fuck.
Why'd you do a big bat vomiting and chopping this dude's head off?
Why not?
I got 4 brothers. You think we didn't talk shit to each other all day?
Yeah.
Like, I got thick skin. Like they couldn't say nothing to me that was gonna affect me. So it was their loss.
Did you start like just going out and tagging and shit, or how did that all thing?
I'm a troublemaker, straight up.
Yeah.
And that was just like the next level of troublemaking.
Just
And,
grabbing the markers and going out.
Yeah, so I started like when I really decided to do graffiti, I was like, all right, I know the rules, and because my brothers, you know, I learned from them. They didn't teach me anything, but I was listening, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I got to think of a name that no one's going to have, because that's the main thing. You can't be like Star, and then,
Star One.
Yeah, and then you go, and then there's a dude in Texas named Star. You're like, oh, I got the same name as this dude, you know? So I was like, fuck, I got to think of a name that no one's going to ever have. And I'm like trying to think of names and shit. And then the reason I thought of Neckface is because, well, when I was younger, there was this kid named Freddie, and we used to call him Ring Around the Lip because he was like, because he was straight like this dirty ass little Mexican kid, and I'm Mexican, so I could talk shit, but he was a dirty ass little Mexican kid, and he would just lick his lips all the time. Okay. And so his face was so like brown and dirty, but around his lips was all fucking white because he just licked his lips.
What was it? Freddie Ring Around the Lips?
Freddie Ring Around the Lip. Okay. So we would go around the neighborhood and beat kids up because we were all into kung fu and shit, like Van Damme movies, like Bruce Lee, like all kinds of shit. We'd go around and beat kids up in the neighborhood and shit, and then before we'd go, Freddie would always be like, man, when I see that kid Brett, he's like, I'm kicking him in the neck. I'm gonna punch him straight in the neck. He'd always say neck. Yeah. Every time that was his go-to move, is to the neck, right? Yeah. And so that always stuck in my head, and I always laughed at that.
Probably hurts more getting hit in the neck than in the face.
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
And then so what did I? And then I used to call kids like ass jacks or some shit.
Ass jacks.
What is that?
That's pretty sick.
Like ass like
Is that a term of endearment, or is like talking shit?
Jackass backwards. Ass jack. I don't know. So
like if I called Raj an ass jack, would that be like good or bad?
No, you might get socked.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah,
disrespectful for sure.
And then
how'd you get face out of that?
And then I was like, damn, I don't even know where the face part came, but I remember saying like neck ass jacks or some shit, and then I was like, all right, how about, I was like Neckface, and when I said Neckface, I started laughing, and I was like, that shit is funny.
How
old
were you?
I was probably like 13 or 14.
Seriously?
Yeah. And then I was like, and then that shit made me laugh, and I was like, that's impossible to have a neck on your face, because then it'd just be a neck.
Yeah.
I was like, that's it. I was like, no one's gonna have that fucking name. I was like, I'm running it. And at first, that would make me laugh, just writing Neckface and people seeing it, and people would laugh and shit, right?
Yeah.
And then it started getting a little old, so I started putting like little sayings next to it. Before or next to it, you know, like, and just like trying to keep those laughs going, you know?
What was some of the little sayings you'd put next to it?
God owes me money. Beat your kids.
Oh, you put slogans kind of next to it. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right.
So
you didn't have a name before that. You didn't know.
Nah, there was
tagging name or nothing.
There was no like
Star One's
preview names or none of that shit. It just went straight in the Neckface.
Straight neck.
And was off to the races.
And
so
then,
when you're tagging Neckface, and this is like new, do people know that it's you?
No, man. At first, people thought I was a chick.
Why?
Look at me, man. I look like a chick.
A big old beard. What are you talking
I look
about?
like this is before the beard, dude. Nah, I'm just kidding. But people didn't know shit. They thought I was a chick. They thought I was some crackhead.
Right.
Like I would write Neckface is a crack whore, you know. So I wasn't. Neckface is pregnant. So I was giving these dudes clues and shit.
Okay. So nobody knew. You were keeping it on the hush.
Keeping it on the hush. Nobody knew.
So you weren't going around with homies?
No, man.
You were just solo?
Yeah.
Really?
Straight loner, yeah. Same thing with skating, dude. I skated forever by myself.
You just go off by yourself?
Yep. Go skating by myself. That's what's sick about skating, is you don't need nobody.
You don't need nobody. Right, of
Just
course.
you and your board,
right.
Your own best friend.
I need people around, though. I need that energy.
It's fun now with people around, but I ain't afraid to go out and skate by myself. You know what I mean?
Sure.
They say that's the sketchiest people to look out for. People who ain't afraid to be alone.
Well, I like being alone, but on my couch.
Yeah.
Not in the wild.
Yeah.
Sketchy.
I do have a cat and a plant.
There you go.
So, Neckface, you're just going out by yourself.
Nobody
knows who you are.
Nobody knows who I am. Going out, writing on shit in the middle of the night. My mom knows exactly what I'm doing.
Oh, how did she know? She figured it out.
I told her, I was like, I'm going out whether you like it or not. So
Did she know you were Neckface?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh, she knew.
Yeah,
Did your brothers know?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And my brothers too. They were like, because I was doing some stupid shit. I put up stickers all the way home. My brother's like,
Leading
you
all the way to
leaving?
the house.
Yeah,
He's like,
leaving
you
a
leaving a
trail.
trail to the house, dumbass. I'm like, shit.
One on the front door.
So I was like, damn, I got to put them all over the place now. So it looks like my house ain't over here.
Yeah.
So now the whole neighborhood.
Yeah, and
is
then
covered.
and then when I moved to New York, I was so how I got to I moved out of my hometown when I was 17, and I went to I applied to 2 art schools, School of Visual Arts and Cal Arts, which is right here.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, these are the only ones that don't care about SAT scores and shit. And my shit was bad. I
They
think
just go off of work, off of what you do.
Yeah. And that they go off of work and fucking, do you want to pay for this school or not?
Yeah. And money. Yeah, they want to take your money.
Yeah.
Like if it was based on SAT scores, I would have failed because I fucking couldn't even spell my name right on that thing.
Right. But you gave them money and they said, come on
Yeah,
in.
we gave him money. I had a little bit of financial aid from that fucking PE teacher.
Oh,
She
yeah?
fucking gave me a
she
little
get
good
it?
word.
Okay.
But she probably wouldn't have if she knew I was stealing shit. Right. But
Silk screen shit.
yeah. So I get accepted to New York, right? And my mom's crying. I'm like one of the first ones to like go off to college and shit. And she's like, how are you gonna meet people? You don't even know nobody in New York. And all I knew about New York is the Brooklyn Banks,
Oh, yeah.
fucking
Skate
Bubble
spots.
Banks, like all these spots, right? And I'm like, dude, I'm going to skate.
Yeah.
Like that's why I'm
Like,
going.
of course I want to meet people.
I'm going to skate. And then she's like, how are you going to meet people? You don't even know nobody. And she's like crying and shit. And I remember this is like straight movie shit. I held my board up and I was like, with this is how I'm going to meet everyone.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And sure enough, that's how I met everyone that I know to this day is
Crazy.
through skateboarding. I went there 17 years old, didn't know shit about New York, nothing. And I was like just running around writing on shit. And then writing kind of became like some Navajo shit where I knew where I was going and where I had been.
Oh.
I'd be like, all right, I'm going this way today. And then I start heading down that way and I'll be like, see my shit on the walls? I'll be like, I already went this way.
It's like, I've been here.
Yeah,
I didn't even know I was here.
I'm going the other way.
Right.
So I remember doing that. I headed, one time I walked out of the dorms and I was skating. I went to the right. I was like, I'm going to the right today. And New York's like a straight grid. So it's like you could do that. And I went uptown and I was like writing on shit uptown. I was like, oh, cool, whatever. Like uptown. Now I know where uptown is. Next day, I'm going left. And then I go out and I go left, which is downtown. And I head downtown and then I'm fucking writing on everything.
This is all at night.
This is all at night, yeah. I see people smoking crack. I seen a dude throw one of those, the cans that Tyshawn's doing all those tricks
Oh, yeah.
over,
Oh,
the
yeah.
metal ones.
Yeah.
I seen a dude throw that at a chick who was running away from him in a cab. Whoom, threw it at the chick. Bow, hit her in the back. She fell into the cab, crying. Like all this chaos, right? This is when I went left. This is like my second day in New York.
So you kept going left.
I was like, this is where I gotta go. I was like, downtown's where I gotta do all my
You're
shit.
like, right is not where it's at.
Yeah, so I started running around downtown, writing on everything and shit, and then nobody really knew who I was.
Okay.
And
You get caught ever?
I've gotten caught, but we could talk about that later.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
I went left. I'm downtown, writing on everything, like going to skate spots, writing on everything, just like kind of like this is where I've been, whatever, and doing my own shit. And then
No stickers anymore. Just write. Just
oh,
writing.
stickers, everything.
Oh, everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm skating outside of the dorm, and this kid comes up to me, and he's like skating with me. This kid named Eric, and we're skating together, just doing flat ground and shit. And then he's like, "Hey, you want to go to this party in Brooklyn?" I was like, "I haven't even been to Brooklyn yet." I was like,
go.
"Let's go." Jump on the train, first time on the train and shit. And this fool takes me to this party, and I meet a bunch of people that are like me. They like scary movies, they like writing on shit, and they all skate. And I'm like, damn, I thought I was the only fool in my hometown that liked the shit that I like.
Yeah.
I was like, here's people just like me, and we're all
Crazy.
we're all troublemakers and shit. And then those people that I met, I'm still friends to this day
Wow.
with.
Dope.
And those people have opened up like opportunities like with art shows and collabs and all this shit, like,
Rad,
and it's all through skateboarding,
Yeah.
skating out front of the dorms. And this kid was like, yo, let's go to BK and go to this party.
Are you still homies with that Eric dude?
Yeah, he works at a museum.
Oh, dope.
Yeah. And then he showed me, what did he show me? He showed me La Luz.
What's that?
Oh, the skate video?
Skate video.
Oh,
Hold
skate
on.
video.
Yeah, yeah.
I think you were talking
He
about
showed
horror
me that.
flick.
No, he showed me that video. He had a bunch of old, this is like VHS days. So he had a bunch of videos and shit. And he put me onto some like East Coast videos.
Yeah, Bobby Pulley had a part in that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sick.
And then when I met these dudes, when I went to this party, they were all like asking me what I do, and I just told them who I was, and they were like, "What? That's you?"
Oh, you told them?
Yeah, because they all wrote graffiti too.
Okay.
And so I told them what I wrote, and they were like, "What? That's you?" And I had already like fucking plastered New York City, and fools were looking for me, and like they didn't know who I was. Crackhead, chick, whatever. And then they finally.
Crackhead chick was looking
Was
for
it
you?
always
Yeah.
a different slogan and every time you'd write something?
Yeah, I try to switch it up, but yeah, I would keep some of them the same. But yeah.
Did you
switch it up.
want to tell them? I mean, you obviously told them, but because when you were over here, you didn't tell anybody. And
Nah,
you
I
got
didn't.
out there and you told them.
I told them because I was like, this is like an extension
This
of
is you, like
of me,
what
and
you
this
do.
this could be like my crew.
Yeah.
And it has become my crew. And some of those dudes I've been to jail with the most. So
Oh, damn.
That's a bonding
yeah,
experience.
good little.
But it's like you would tell, they do graffiti too, you would tell them because they could relate. You wouldn't tell like a normal person your name's Neckface.
Nah,
right?
I wouldn't tell no normal people or whatever, but
Yeah.
Right.
but these dudes were exactly like me, so I was like,
Yeah.
all right, these are the homies.
Did you start going out with them?
Yeah, so
At night?
we went out that night and wrote on all this shit, and then
wow.
like I was just there. I was just in New York and Williamsburg, and this is like Williamsburg before it turned to what it is now, and it's like still kind of dangerous over there, believe it or not. And yeah, we walked by the street. I was like, dude, you remember after that party we fucking we rode on all this shit. Like we just ran wild on the street.
Some of your shit's still there?
Not on that street, but I have shit around New York that's
Okay.
like from 2003, 2004.
Yeah, I've seen it out there. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
So I got some stuff. I got some stuff still running, and what's happening now is Williamsburg, the popular neighborhood, is spreading out to all of Brooklyn. So pretty much all of Brooklyn's gonna be Williamsburg, and I got some shit in like sketchy parts of Bushwick that nobody would ever even go to, but I was over there skating and running around with these dudes writing on shit, and then but now that gentrification is spreading out, these neighborhoods are getting pushed out to like deep Bushwick,
Right.
and people are finding my shit. And they're like, what? This fool's in my neighborhood from 2003? I was like, yeah. I was out there before the fucking coffee shops popped up.
Right. The coffee shops. Yeah, for sure. Damn. So you lived out there for like 10 years or something, right?
10 years. I did a 10-year bid in New York City.
Yeah.
But how did the school go?
Oh, school. I dropped out after 2 years.
2 years you were done.
Yeah. So what happened at school is
Over it.
I went for fine art because I didn't know shit about art school. And fine art's pretty stupid to go to school for.
Why?
Because you have an assignment. There's some fucking fat chick that you got to paint. Okay. You start painting this chick, right?
Right.
And I'm like, I'm painting her how I want to paint her, right?
yeah.
And the
Okay.
teacher comes around and is like, oh, you should paint it like this. I'm like, you telling me how to paint this? How to paint this?
Yeah.
I was like, if you're telling me how to paint this, then every painting in here is gonna look exactly the same.
Sure.
I was like, this is how I paint. This is how I do it.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, try to do this. I'm like, nah, this
So it
this
wasn't
ain't
your shit,
This
yeah.
ain't right. And
Put
then
wings on her and shit. And
yeah, just like
head chopped off,
head chopped. Yeah.
axe in the back.
So art school is just like a bunch of rich kids who like want to, like, you know, that word college they want. You know, I'm going to college. Mommy and daddy are paying for college.
Right, right.
You know, and I went because I like doing this shit. I love painting. You know, that's what I do.
Sure.
And so we'd have like our assignments and shit, and I'd do these fucking assignments, like whatever. And then I'd stay after class and I'd use like the big ass studios and shit, and I'd be painting my own shit and just drawing, like doing I lived in a small ass dorm, so I was doing big shit like this.
Oh, okay, you couldn't do it there.
And these kids would pass by, they'd be like, what class is that for? What assignment is this for? I'm like, I'm doing this shit because I want to. Like, this ain't for this is for me. Yeah. And they're like, why? What do you... Why are you doing it?
Why are you? Yeah,
You're a fucking
You're only at
artist.
art school.
Yeah, and I'm like, you guys are fucking stupid, dude. Like, and then so going to school for fine art was pretty dumb, and basically they were like, just write it out for the second year and it's gonna change as the second year. Wrote it out second year, and by the time second year hit, I was already fucking running around, being in art shows, magazines,
Oh,
and
wow.
like all this shit, and school was actually getting in the way.
It's like skating.
I was like, yeah. And I was like, fuck it, I'm dropping out of this shit. So I remember I was skating to school to go drop out, and I had a Sprite remix in my hand when it just came out. And I was like, oh, this is the new shit. And I'm fucking skating so fast, so hyped to drop out. And then I'm going and I'm crossing the street, and this cab runs a fucking red light, and boom, this cab straight hits me. And I jumped right before it hit me, jumped up, and I pretty much like hippie jumped this cab.
Oh shit!
My board didn't come out the other end, but I fucking I flew and I fucking skid. I still had the Sprite remix in my hand, and I skidded all on my hand. My knuckles were all fucking scraped up with this Sprite remix in my hand.
Save the remix.
Sprite remix, sent a box to 9 Club, and then my shit was all bloody, and I went into class, and I was like, I'm dropping out. I was like, I'm done. And then like one of my teachers, the only sick teacher, she's a big artist. Her name's Marilyn Minter. She's like, yeah, you don't need a beer. And I was like, all right, I'm out. And I fucking
Co-signed.
Because you're already doing shit.
Pieced out. I was already doing shit. And I fucking
Sounds like you didn't learn much there. Sounds like you just, or did you?
I mean, I learned how to steal more shit there. Like, these kids had sick ass supplies, man, and they're leaving them lockers open. So I still got supplies to this day from there.
Seriously.
Were there other like graffiti people like going to art school too?
There's a lot of graffiti people going to art school. Some of them are, so a lot of those kids that I met at that party, they went to the same school, but I never like was in class with them and shit. They were like going for other stuff, but we all pretty much went to the same school. And then some graduated, some dropped out. People who graduated probably work at like a Starbucks or some shit now.
So just in that 2 years of being in New York and going to that school, you were already getting into that world of having art shows and shit like that. You said being in magazines and stuff.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
How did you even like, were people just hitting you up, or how did that world even like open up for you?
Yeah, how do you line up an art show when you're just a graffiti artist?
Yeah.
I mean, I was running around writing on shit, and the kids that I met at this party, they were like, you know, getting art shows and stuff.
Okay.
And I'd be in these little art shows, and somebody would show up and be like, whoa, how do you guys know this dude? Like, you think he'd be down to be in this show or something? And then I'd meet people, and I'd be kind of like I'd kind of like pick and choose who I'd kind of want to like reveal my identity to.
Gotcha.
You know, I'd be like, oh, this dude is sick. I love this guy's work, and I know he's like a dude that Hooks Gallery shows up, and I'd be like, you know, introduce myself or whatever. Okay. And then it just networking went on from there.
I mean, it's kind of just like skating.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you meet people, you run with their crew, you get sponsored. It's like kind of the same deal.
Yeah.
Same vibe. I heard that the first person that wanted your art on a board was Mark Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. You are correct.
Wow.
He stopped you on the street.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So,
how did that even...
So
what year was this, by the way? Like, how many years were you in New York before that happened?
This has got to be 2005, maybe 5 or 6.
Okay, so you were already in New York for
probably look
years.
it up. I moved to New York in 2002.
So a couple of 3 years.
So people had been asking me to do like boards and shit. Like
other skate brands.
Some like weak ass brands I ain't gonna say. But I knew I was like, I ain't doing that. I'm holding out. Like I ain't gonna do no board for fucking this dude. Like I don't even like that dude. So I held out, right? And then sure enough, I'm walking with this dude that writes Bigfoot, and he knows Mark from back in the day or some shit. And then I don't know how Mark knew me, but Mark rolled up on a bike with no seat. And he did he did a sick ass skid in front of me. He was like, and he's like, hey, you're Neckface, right? And I was like, yeah, hell yeah. Like, Mark,
you knew you.
If Gon's fucking asks you that, I'm like, I'll tell him.
He's one of those dudes that like, even if he knows your name, you're fucking stoked.
Yeah.
So I know who that fool is, and he asked me, he's like, hey, I want you to do a board for me. I was like, all right. I was like, hell yeah. Like, this is what I was holding out for. Mark Gonzalez, my first board I ever did.
Wow.
And then he's like, yeah, just hit up Jim and figure it out. And he took off on the bike. I didn't know who Jim he was talking about.
Like, Jim? Okay.
And then I figured it out and fucking hit the right people up and shit. And then I did my first board. My first board was for Mark.
Crazy.
And it was for Crooked.
That's an honor, bro.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Mark Gonzalez.
What was the graphic of?
It was a dipped board, a dipped white board, and then it had a bunch of like heads on it. It was like green and orange heads.
Was it a team board?
On the board. No, it was a Mark board.
Oh, it's a Mark Gonzalez. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then it was a dipped board, which looks sick on the wall, but when you put that shit under your feet, I don't really fuck with dipped boards.
Dip boards are kind of crazy.
Yeah, but it's a good wall hanger.
Fuck yeah. Dude.
And then I got a bunch of deluxe shit, and then that opened up some doors over there.
Do you save your shit? Do you save all
my
the
mom.
stuff?
My mom's got the museum.
Okay. So you got to give her everything that you do.
Yeah, man. She
It's all in the garage.
My old room turned into a computer room back in the day, and then they swiped out the computer room, and then now it's just a museum.
It's a museum.
All my shit.
That's
dope.
awesome.
It's like I'll do these collabs and shit, or work with these big ass companies like Nike and stuff, and I'm like, hey, there's only one thing. I was like, I need one of everything.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? I'm like, I don't want this shit. I was like, this shit's for my mom. I was like, if she don't get it, I'm gonna get it.
Right.
She's on me too. She's like, I don't have that cater board. Where's the cater board at? I'm like, fuck.
She's like, I saw you in the 9 Club with that mask. Where's my mask?
Yeah.
She's got a mask.
Okay,
I got her one.
Good,
but
good,
yeah, she's on me.
Hey, that's dope though. All my shit's at my mom's too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got to make mom happy.
Proud parents, you know.
That must be a stacked room, dude. There's a lot of stuff in there, huh?
Yeah, there's a bunch of shit. She's got some gems.
And you just did a Baker new series.
New
for them.
Baker series, Sorcery Survival.
I eat posers like you for breakfast.
Yeah.
That's all I
Sick.
I said, watch this trick, mom. And that
Fingerboard.
cater board is kind of like a you know how the Roscott board was like kind of like a continuation,
Yeah, breakthrough. Yeah.
come out more and shit. So that cater board's kind of like that. It's like if you zoom in on the dude fingerboarding, like just the hand,
That's from the first board?
That's the first board. And now we're zooming out, and now you get to reveal the picture
I
of
see.
what's going on. And then maybe there's gonna be a third board, and it zooms out some more, and we'll see what happens in the background.
So it's a continuous story.
Continuous story, collect them all.
Oh, that's amazing. So like for one board, right? I mean, do you whip these graphics up pretty quick, or is it more of like trying to think about what you want to do and then like try to draw it out, sketch it, or I mean, how does it work?
Sometimes I whip them out, and then sometimes it takes a while.
Like, do you throw shit away like, oh fuck, that was fucking whack,
I mean,
or do you just kind of go with it?
I keep everything.
Oh, you
so
do?
Like, if I draw something shitty, I don't really give up on it until I go fully through with it. And
Okay.
sometimes it comes out sick. I'm like, I'll be drawing something. I'll be like, this is gonna be weak. Like, this is whack.
You
I was
already
like,
know.
just keep going, and I keep going. I was like, actually, this shit's coming out sick. So sometimes it happens like that, but
Okay.
a lot of the boards though that I do are like that cater one is like specific to cater because we were on a trip to SF for a lower bobs contest, and we're in a hotel and I'm all hungover and shit, and cater's like, hey Nick, he's like, you want to have some real fun? I'm like, what, cater? What do you got? And this fool pulls out this fucking sick ass bag with all these high tech fingerboards and shit.
Wow.
They got plies and shit, and
Okay.
like their own like grip, and like some dude fucking makes their own trucks and shit. And Cater's sick at fingerboarding, and he's just showing me all these fingerboard tricks, and I'm like, this fool. And then so I was like, when they told me that Cater was turning pro and they wanted me to do a graphic for him, I was like, all right, I know what I'm doing. So they're like specific to the skater, and you know, I'm not just drawing shit like, you know, oh, this guy's from fucking
Florida
or
Yeah,
Buffalo. Like, I'm gonna
right.
draw the fucking the buffalo flag or some shit. Like, I don't give a fuck about that. But so, and then there's the Tyson board over there where he's looking through a fucking
It's like a
what's the magazine
channel?
he's looking through? Trap hose.
Trap hose gone wild.
Trap hose gone wild.
Is that a mag that he frequents?
Yeah, it's a new mag that just came out. And but Tyson likes trap, and he likes
gotcha.
the girls that come with it.
Okay. Wow.
And then the Andrew board. Andrew's really into fucking boards that have a lot of the veneer showing
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
right now. So I was like, how do I make a board that's, you know, my shit sick, but still like have a lot of veneer showing.
Right.
So I did that. And then, you know, so some of these are like specific to like the skater, and that comes with like actually being in the van with these dudes. Like I know
them. Yeah.
I know these dudes, you know what I mean?
important.
Like I'm hanging out with these guys and they're actually like my homies. I'm not just like coming up with some shit and then
Just out of
here
the
you
blue.
go, that's your
Right.
graphic.
This whole series, like how long did you work on it for?
This whole series I would say took probably like 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I'm getting a little more hip to, because I'm not good at computers. So I used to do these shits full color and then give it to them, and they'd have to do color separation and
They want the
and
line
all
art.
that shit. So I was like, dude, if I do the line art, then I go in there and be like, hey, click that to make it orange and do this shit. You know, it's
So you work on the graphic, you give them the line art, then you go in and you color it with them.
and then I work with a computer dude.
Yeah, okay.
Saves you a lot of time.
Computerize.
No,
it.
because for the computer guy, it's a bitch to separate those
Yeah,
colors
yeah.
and shit.
Oh, yeah.
So the only one I did full color was the cater board.
Oh, why?
Because I got to get that fire. That's how I did the first cater board, and so I did it like that. And then the Riley and all these other ones, those were all like line art.
Line
And I
art,
go in and I tell them what colors to do and shit.
Do you have names for your characters?
Nah, they haven't told me yet.
Waiting for them to talk to you?
I'm waiting for these dudes to start talking to me. It's about time.
When did you actually realize that like this could become a thing? Was it like the art shows before that, or was it when Mark Gonzalez, or was it a different time when you're like, dude, this is something that I can like run. This is going to be like my career almost. You know what I mean?
When those checks started coming in.
When was the check? Was it the real? Was it the crooked? I mean,
I started doing these art shows and stuff was selling.
okay.
And then I had my first art show. I was 18 or 19, my first solo show, and I had it here in LA in New Image Art.
Oh wow.
And all my work was this big because
like a 2x2 or something, 3x3.
like an 8.5 by 11, because that was the only shit that fit in my backpack, and I was sleeping on a couch then.
Okay.
So I was like just painting wherever I was, you know. So all my shit was super tiny because I was couch surfing because I
Sure.
moved out. I was not in the dorms anymore, and I'm just running around couch to couch and shit. We called it pulling up hardwood.
Pulling
like,
up, yeah.
Me and this one homie named Mike, we would like if I showed up before him, then I got the futon. But if he showed up before me, then I'm pulling up hardwood.
First come, first serve.
I'm sleeping on the ground.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But I sold out that show.
Sold out. 18
Yeah.
years old.
Yeah.
How
Sold
many
out.
pieces you think?
Fuck. I probably did like 40 pieces.
Seriously?
Yeah.
How much were they
gone.
going for?
So when I got there, my homie Rich Jacobs is the guy who put me on. He did a Move Zine. You guys have some shit in the background of Rich Jacobs. It's like a little scratchy face.
Scratchy face.
Move Zine.
Move zine? Maybe.
I've seen it. It's in the background.
Okay.
Okay.
But that's my homie Rich, and he put me on to like having like legit art shows and shit.
Gotcha.
And he put me in this show. He's like, hey, this lady, she's crazy. She knows what she's doing, but she's crazy. Just
Okay.
trust me. I was like, all right. So I come to LA, I have all my shit, have this show. And she's like, all right, how much do you want to sell your work for? And I was like, I don't know. I'm 18. I'm like, I don't know, $100. And she's like, you're not going to sell it. It's too cheap. And I was like, $100 is too cheap? I was like, I didn't even have $100. And she's like, let's do 500 to 1,000. And I was like, you're tripping.
For each 8.5 by 11.
Yeah. I was like, you are tripping. No one's going to buy that.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
I didn't know how much my shit was worth. And then I was like, nah, we're not doing that. And then she was like, okay, you're not going to sell none, whatever. Like, it's up to you. And then I was like, heard Rich. I was like, she's crazy, but she knows what she's doing.
She's doing.
I was like, all right, let's just do it. And then she did it, and I sold out all that shit.
Wow.
And then I had hella money.
Wait a minute. 500 times 40. God, I can't even.
Well, how
do
does that work?
math,
Does the
bro.
place take a little
Then
percentage
they
of it?
split it in half.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
right?
Still good.
Yeah.
For an 18-year-old kid
Yep.
just fucking
And then,
coming in with a backpack.
yeah, and then
pulling up hardwood.
so I started making money then, and I was like, all right,
That's
so
when it clicked, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
and then yeah, it just kept going.
I mean, you loved it. You're going to do it anyway.
Yeah,
But sure, if I can make some fucking money,
yeah,
decent
Yeah.
money at that.
yeah. I've been living off my art since I was 18 years old.
What do you charge for 8x11 now?
Can't tell you.
Was it hard to schedule those art shows a lot back when you were younger?
After that first one happened, then it was just snowballed from there, you know? Fools were like, oh, you sold out your show? Like, oh, you want to do one here? You want to do this? You want to do that? And
because they want to put it on. They know you could sell shit. They're going to make some money.
But then was that like kind of, was it nerve-wracking almost for you to make that much art for the next show?
Nah, man, I was doing that shit anyways.
Yeah.
Right.
It was like, so my whole thing is like, you know, like I'm doing this shit. I'm gonna do it no matter what. Mm-hmm. And when this opportunity picks you, are you ready or are you not?
Right.
Yeah.
I was ready.
You were ready.
Yeah. Let's go. You want more? I got more right here.
It's funny that you showed up just thinking you could make like, you know, whatever, probably like a couple grand, you know, and then here you are selling the shit for $500, selling out of 40 something pieces.
Yeah. I didn't know I was gonna sell anything.
It's incredible.
And we had people in there buying shit like Beck bought a piece.
Wow, that's awesome.
I'm a loser, baby.
Yeah.
Don't you kill me. Beck bought some shit. Some other people bought some stuff, and yeah, it just been going off like that since.
Now, were you in the show being like, this is my work, or were you to the side, like just chilling?
At first I would show up with a mask on. Because still nobody knew who I was.
What kind of mask?
I had like these ski masks that I would steal, like these pro ski masks that were sick. And I wear these masks all the time, and I would wear them in the art show, and I'd be signing pictures and shit. And then like, and then we go out to the after party, and then the mask would be off, and like some people would see who I was and shit, and it wasn't that crazy, whatever. But the mask came off when I started being in skate videos with all these fools.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's like, how's Andrew gonna blur out my face in the background to every video?
Everything.
Like,
yeah, it's too much.
You could be pretty. You don't gotta be that smart to figure out who I am.
Yeah.
Like who's that Mexican dude that's always skating with these guys?
Yeah.
I know Neckface is friends with Spanky.
Right.
It's like ding ding ding.
Sure.
It's like you know. So
were you scared though to finally show like your identity and stuff? Because here you are, you're tagging everywhere, you're doing shit, and then they can now put the tagging name to the face. Right?
Yeah. Well, what happened? What happened was like there was all these chicks.
Okay. That'll do it.
All these chicks were showing up to these parties, and they're like looking for a dude in the mask, and I don't got no mask on, so they don't even know who they're looking for. I'm just kidding. And I was like, "You think my character's ugly? Watch this." Took my shit off.
The reveal.
But
no, but it must be kind of. Were you worried?
Well, I was already like not being in New York, like. You know, I was running around like traveling like the world and shit.
Okay.
And what happened one time is there's this cop that skates in New York, and he went into Supreme, and he was like, "Hey, I know you guys know Neckface. Tell him to lay low.
Oh.
His face is on the wall at the precinct. They're looking for him." And I was like, got news of that. I was like, holy shit. And I fucking cut my hair, dude. I cut my hair. Like chopped, like I looked exactly the same, but I thought I was sick. I cut my shit off, and I was slicking it back, and I was still going to like Max Fish and shit, and going to the same ass spots. And I was like, anytime some normal ass dude would walk in, I'd be like, who's that? I'm like, who the fuck is that? And I'd be like, oh shit, I'm going to another bar. And they didn't get me. But they got me up here.
Yeah.
And then
mentally.
Eventually I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. They know where I'm at. If they want to come get me, they could come get me.
Okay.
They know where I'm at.
Yeah.
And so I just stopped all that shit, and then by the time all that heat died down, I was already like just running around. Now I live in LA and shit.
Okay.
And yeah, now the chicks have a face that to
the name.
To the name.
Yeah.
They can,
It'd be sick if you were hooking up with chicks with a mask on too.
I know.
I've done that.
Never took it off. He did it yesterday. Yeah. No, so so even if you go out and do graffiti now, right? They're putting, does it ever link up and get you? That's what I'm at. Like, how does it work?
Are you a cop or something?
I'm the normal dude who walks into the bar.
putting too many pieces together, man.
I'm just saying, like, you know, it's
City of LA
interesting.
commissioning him.
It's interesting. What?
The city of LA now commissions him to go around and do graffiti.
Well, the thing with LA, I don't really do graffiti in LA.
Okay.
Because I've gotten busted here before, and it's a felony charge.
Oh, that's what I'm getting at.
Cost me like 10 G's to fucking get it dropped to a misdemeanor and shit.
It's half
and
an art show.
Yeah. And by the time I fucking got out of jail, the thing I did was already painted over. It was buffed.
Right.
You know, so it ain't really worth it for me to do graffiti out here.
I feel like you can get to a certain point where it's like, why you don't even need to go out on the street. Like you could just do big pieces and actually probably get paid for it.
I mean, I do that too, but I can't. I'm not forgetting where I came from.
Yeah, of course.
You know,
Right,
so
right.
I'm still hitting the streets. I travel so much that I save it for when I travel. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So like
You're in Idaho or
the whole time I'm
Mississippi.
the whole time I'm here, I'm like,
Where they really
just
appreciate
itching,
graffiti.
dude. I'm like, where are we going next? You know, and I just went to New York and I painted that ramp for the deathmatch thing.
Dope.
And then
yeah.
I had a lot of leftover paint, and I just hit the streets after that. Left my mark out there.
Okay.
Let them know that I'm still around.
Crazy. It's fascinating to me, just that whole lifestyle and then like revealing yourself and then having to worry about, like you were saying, they fucked your mind up for a minute.
Yeah.
Were there any other like graffiti artists or that you haven't met or you look up to or when you were a young kid that you haven't met yet or?
I pretty much met all of them.
Yeah.
You know?
Have you met Banksy?
He came up to me when I had a show in London. And he was like, "Hey, I'm Banksy."
Yeah, right.
I swear. He's like, "I want to come." He's like, "I want to come paint with you," because I was already hitting the streets hard. And he's like, "Here's my number." And then I had this fool's number, and then I was at the hotel. I just threw it in the trash. I just went out by myself. I was like, I don't do no stencil stuff like that. I'm hitting the streets
Going
hard.
back to his roots, just going out solo.
Yeah, so I went out solo in London.
How do you know it was him though? Nobody knows what this guy looks like.
He told me this is before he was like,
oh, this was like
some dude or whatever. But he told me, and he just,
what did he look like?
He's
Paint
an
a
old
picture.
guy.
Can you draw him real quick?
Yep,
He's an old guy?
he's an old guy. If he was old then, that means he's vintage now.
Shit.
But another dude that I look up to is Barry McGee, Twist, and there was some show in Orange County before I went to London, and he was there. I was like, dude, I'm going to London. He's like, hell yeah. He's like, kill it out there. He's like, watch out for the city foxes. I was like, what the fuck's a city fox? He's like, just watch out. And I was like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
I go to London. I'm out painting. They give me a scooter.
Who gave you a scooter?
This gallery.
Oh, okay.
They're like, here, take this to get around.
You were doing a show out there.
Yeah, they're like, you know how to use this thing? I'm like, hell yeah, I know how to use this thing. And I didn't know shit. And then I'm like,
Not only that, you're on the wrong side of the road. Yeah.
dude, that's what happened. I hit the streets. I'm out and cars are honking at me. I'm like, oh yeah, fuck, wrong side. And I'm on the other side, right? And then I'm out painting and shit. I'm putting up Jack the Ripper because that's all I know about London.
Okay.
And then I'm painting and on the side of this creek. And then I feel something. I feel something like behind me. And I'm like, hold up. And I turn around and look. I was like, there ain't shit. I'm tripping. I was like, nothing. Still painting, filling in and shit. And then I was like, let me look. I was like, look again. I look back and then I look down and there's a fucking big ass dog fox thing looking at me and growling.
No.
And I was like, oh shit. And I fucking chuck a can at it and it takes off. Zoom. I was like, that's the city fox. I was like, that's the shit he was talking about. And then I was like, oh shit, these things are probably everywhere. So I go and I'm like, I'm taking this scooter. I'm like, I already went that way. I'm going all the way this way now. I'm
Going left.
And then I go left. And then I'm painting on some shit over there. And I take off like, there's this big empty lot. And it's like Brick Lane. It's like a famous street over there. And then it's like a big fence blocking this lot, or like a open fence, right? And there's all these pieces of ply. And I take these pieces of ply and I'm putting them against a fence to make a wall so no one could see in, right? And I'm building this big ass wall. And then I pull out one of them plies and then like 3 of those fucking city foxes jump out. Boom, 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 boom. I'm like, oh shit. Just like they were all over the place. And then
Crazy. Well, because they're probably out at night.
Yeah.
Just fucking. I've been there so many times, never seen a city
I tell
fox.
people to this day, I'm like, city fox. And they're like, huh? And I'm like, they're out there, dude.
They're out
I
there.
seen them.
That's funny.
Well, it's probably where the places where you're tagging because you're going to like,
Yeah,
you're
I'm going
to
to
cuddy spots.
Cuddy spots.
Yeah.
Tell me if this is true. I read somewhere.
I lit Spanky on fire.
We'll talk about that. I know that's true because we had Spanky on the show and he told us the whole story. But I want to hear it through.
I got a different side of the story.
There's always two. There's always three.
Yeah.
I got something to say.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Did you, when you were coming up in New York, did you get offered like a shit ton of money to do some like album cover and you like turned it down?
Yeah, man.
You got offered like almost like
for?
$100,000 or something.
$70,000.
70 grand, and you said no.
I said no.
Why?
So I can't tell you who it was.
Okay.
I'll tell you guys off the air.
Okay.
But it was this
A well-known
musician.
Okay.
Wanted me to do his album cover. It started off at 10 grand. I had already knew in my head that I didn't want to do it. I was
Okay.
like, there's no way I'm doing that.
But you were broke at the time, right?
Yes, sir. So I was like, there's no way I'm doing that. I was like, but let me see how much I could get it up to. So I was like,
Just for fun.
I was like, that ain't enough. And then it kept going up. And I was like, nope, still not enough. And it got up to $70,000. And then I was like, nah, I'm not doing it. Like, and I was straight dead broke at the time, like for real, like $5 a day in New York City, like living off $5 a day. And the reason I didn't do it is because I picture like, I think of my fans and I think of what they would think if I did something like that.
Okay.
First, I think, what if a dude that I looked up to did some shit like that? How would I feel? And I'm like, nah, that shit it don't add up. And so basically it got up to $70,000. I turned it down. And the reason I turned it down is because it would have been the last money I ever made, I think. You know, I do that shit and then fools are like, that fool is weak. Like,
Sold out right away.
Oh, cool. He did that fucking album cover. He made all this cash. We ain't buying his shit no more. That's the last money I would have ever made.
Dude, to turn down that kind of money though? That takes some fucking balls, bro.
Yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
you were just playing with him at that point, though.
Yeah, and then
Find out his worth.
yeah. So
good
now when
test.
somebody asks me if they're like, you want to do an album cover? I'm gonna tell them, I'm like, well, turns out $70,000 is my going rate.
Yes.
But I don't even do album covers like that because it's just a fucking thumbnail on your iTunes anyways. Album covers ain't even what it is and what it was anymore.
But back then though, was it CDs
It was still
and shit, or was it
there would have been a couple CDs and
Okay.
shit, but it was like on the internet.
mainly internet shit?
But yeah, I turned it down, and then this other artist ended up doing it, who I looked up to, and he did it, and then I was like, that dude's weak now.
Oh.
I was like, he's
same
cut.
shit that you thought you were now.
Exactly. I was
Wow.
like, that dude's cut. I can't believe he
Did
did
you find out
that
how much
shit.
he made?
Probably not as much as I got.
Probably 10
He probably did it
grand.
for 10. But
Who? I mean, like, were you tripping out? This person even reached out to you in the first place? You're like, I don't even like your shit.
you know what? When stuff like that happens, I can't be like, I don't like your shit, so don't like my stuff. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like
true,
my,
yeah.
my shit's for everybody.
Right.
It's like, you know, I got these two dudes in Texas that are a gay couple, and they got a bunch of my shit. And it's like, I don't care who buys my stuff. Like, you like it. Like, it's all yours. Like, there's a lot of artists out there, like fine artists and shit, who are like, no, you can't have that
They're
in your
picky.
collection. Yeah, and I'm like, fuck that, dude. Like, I ain't there to judge somebody. Like, you
Right.
know, like, I don't want my stuff in your house. If you like my shit, then you like my shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, this dude hit me up, and then I turned down 70 grand when I was dead broke, and it was a smart move.
Yeah.
'Cause-
But you even you did a huge piece for like Steve Aoki.
Steve
in
Aoki,
Vegas,
right? I did do a big piece for his house, and it was like, Steve Aoki, like, I'm not really down with that type of music. Mm-hmm. I went to one of his shows before, and dude, he had like 5 city blocks in LA full of people. I was like, God damn, this
Yeah.
dude, like, you know, he's doing his shit. Like,
Right.
you know, like, it ain't my cup of tea, but, you know, he's doing his thing. And then I was like, nah, do I paint at his house? Like, what, do I do it? Do I not? And I was like, you know what? It's just like him buying a big ass painting. Like, if he came to a show, bought a big painting and hung it in his house,
Right.
What am I gonna do? You know what I mean?
So he wanted you to come there and paint it.
Yeah, he wanted me to come there and paint it, and that fool he saved me, dude, because I was broke then too, and I got a nice chunk of change right there, and I got put up in the Palms and shit.
How much you get?
Drank the mini bar.
How much you get, bro?
I got about $1,000.
Okay, that's pretty good. And the mini bar at the Palms.
I got the mini bar. The mini bar.
Wow.
Mini bar costs more than I got paid.
I'm sure you got a nice chunk of change. But does anybody say anything to you when you do stuff like that and the word gets out? Like, oh, Neck went out to Vegas and did a piece for Steve Aoki.
Some people do, but then it's like, if I do it right,
Yeah.
no one ain't saying shit.
There you
So
go.
if I go there and do some weak ass shit, some fucking little cartoony like cute stuff or whatever, and play myself, then sure, you could say all you want. But if I went there and rocked that shit, it's fucking sick as fuck, big ass mural.
Yeah.
It's tight. No one could say shit. So if you do it right, then no one could say nothing.
Yeah. Okay, so back then, 18 years old, $500 a piece, right?
Yep.
8.5 by 11, right?
Yep.
As you keep going, through the years and you keep getting bigger and bigger and more people want to buy your shit, like when you have an art show, how do you then put a price on it? Do you have people helping you, or do you just like come up with numbers and, oh, this piece is this big, so I'm going to charge this? Or how do you even navigate that kind of shit?
So at first I was getting help, and then it kind of just became like, in the art world, your shit has to keep going up.
Yeah.
You can't go up and then be like my shit's fucking couple $1,000 and then nothing sells, and then the next show you have, now it's fucking down
500.
down here.
Right.
That shit looks bad in
But
the art
plus
world.
too, the amount of people that are buying it. You got the Becks, you got the Steve Aokis, you got these
Yeah.
big people. That brings the value up as well.
Yep.
Who owns this shit?
Yeah.
And
so this is what happens is like my paintings, like my actual like paintings, that my real artwork. I mean, it's all my real artwork, but
Right.
my actual like paintings and shit, they're up here now.
Yeah.
These prices are crazy.
Okay.
And that ain't my fault. That's the art world's fault.
Yeah.
This up there.
But you ain't complaining.
I'm not complaining at all. But so what happens is these kids, all these kids who love my shit, they're all fucking they're like me, little skate rat kids,
Yeah.
I ain't buying no fucking thing for $5,000. You out of your mind.
can't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a picture of that shit and fucking print it out.
Yeah.
Or something, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So
Laser printer.
so what happens is I'm up here now in the art world with my paintings and prices and shit, right?
Right.
And I know these kids love my shit, and I want to give back to these kids and be more accessible to these dudes. And I want them to go home with something instead of that fucking picture with a filter on it. And so now I do things like this Necktoberfest, which is where I make merch, and I do these one-off things. I go to thrift stores. I'm out searching for like sick-ass trinkets and shit, and I customize them myself, and I hook them up and do little one-offs and stuff. And then those things are like, probably the most expensive one would be like $500, which is nothing compared to these paintings that are up here.
Yeah.
So I start making these things more street level and accessible to these kids, these local fucking drug dealers. Okay.
Right.
And they can afford a little $500 thing. They can afford a $40 print. They
Yeah.
can buy a $20 t-shirt.
Yep.
And so that's why I'm doing all this thing for Necktoberfest.
And you got to kind of navigate it. You kind of like you got to think kind of outside the box, right?
Yep.
Because you can't really give away big pieces that already sell for a certain amount, right?
Yeah, so-
it's kind of like you're stuck in this. You got to think outside the box.
So yeah, I do these little one-off things, and these one-off things, they take me some time sometimes, and sometimes they're super quick and funny.
Yeah.
And you come home with something from Neck.
That's dope.
Wow.
Man.
Those probably actually be worth more later in life.
Yeah,
Exactly,
for sure. And you're
dude.
giving them something like this 9 Club, Neckface Halloween thing. How much
Yes.
will we get for that? If I eBay
Dude,
that,
he's-
I sold something like that, probably that size, maybe add 2 more of those onto there, 15 grand.
15. Okay, I'm taking that home with me, Raj. Just letting you know.
I wanted to ask something real
Go
quick.
ahead, please.
So like, skateboarding is kind of like when the videos were coming out when we were kids, like going to Instagram and you see all the kids pumping out social media stuff. Did it change? Did graffiti change in any way when social media came around?
It did, and so what happened is all these people, they do like a little tag behind a dumpster, like in this alleyway, and they put it up, and they're like, check it out, I'm on the streets. But then you go out on the streets and you don't see no shit.
It's like hidden.
It's like, where, dude? Where is this?
Yeah.
I don't see your shit anywhere. So it's like, there's a lot of like fake dudes out there that just like tag behind closed doors and shit and put it up and whatever. But then like, you know, I used to always say, like, somebody would be like, hey, you got a website? And I'll be like, my website's on the streets. Step outside and log on.
www.world.
Do you see what I got going? It's everywhere.
But you do funny shit too. Like I like the one that the billboards in New York that you would do, like the Batman one, like
Neckface begins
and shit. Dude, it's amazing. And you even painted it over. There was a storefront that was like abandoned, and it was like
My old lady.
My old lady.
My old lady loves Neckface. Yeah, so I would pass by that shit going to school.
I love that.
And it was this place called My Old Lady. And I was like, that sign is fucking sick. And it was abandoned and shit. And I went out there. That's like one of the first first things I did in the snow in New York.
Oh.
I didn't know how to get up there. I didn't know about like extensions or nothing. So I fucking got this big ass stick and I taped a paintbrush on it. And then I was just like in the snow. I'm out there fucking
dipping the pan. You dip the paintbrush.
Yeah. I fucking kick the can all the way to the end to where the stick could reach, and I'd be like, dip, and then go up and then do this shit. And I was just like going out there just doing my shit, man, just having fun.
That's
I still
great.
am having fun.
Yeah. And not only that, I mean, you were talking about you do the paper mache shit, but recently you've been doing metal work,
Yep.
you know, and also you've been getting into like ceramic shit now.
Yep.
How's that
The
going?
forbidden ceramic world.
Oh man, how's that going though?
It's good, man. I
Is it
mean,
a whole different thing?
one of the sick ones that's pretty funny is the metal work that I do. So my dad's like a straight hard worker, owns a tire shop. This fool I would only see on Sundays.
Oh, wow.
Like was his day off. And then like he used to always come home and after work, and then I was a little kid, this fool just sit down on the couch, crack a beer, and just be watching TV and be like, nobody fuck with me, nobody talk to me.
This is my
No,
time.
nothing, right? And I'm like, damn, this fool's mean. Why don't he want to hang out with us? Like, we're supposed to be playing right now or some shit. But then years and years and years later, I start doing this metal work. And the metal work is like, you know, I feel like my dad, he's like, when I do like my paintings and shit, he's like, oh yeah, cool paintings, drawing.
Like he can't relate.
Whatever, right?
Right.
And then when I started doing this metal work and started like sweating, cutting my hands, getting burnt and shit, he's like, oh, now your work, now you know what work is, right?
Right.
And this was trying to help me and shit. I'm like, nah, I got it. And then I'd be like, I had like a little like a metal shop at my dad's tire shop, like in the back. I had all my shit there, like welders and plasma cutters and all this shit, right? And then I'm putting in the hours. I'm going with him like when he goes to work at like 7.
Okay.
And I'm clocking in, like I'm eating lunch with these dudes and shit. They're doing tire stuff or whatever. And then I come home and I'm sitting down on the couch. I crack a beer. I'm like, well, don't fucking talk to me. I was like, that's why that fool was like that.
Yup.
I was like, I get it now.
Working tired, man. Needs to decompress.
But yeah, I had metal class in high school, and I had a teacher named Mr. Bunch, and he was the sickest teacher because he was like, all right, you're in metal class. He's like, there's all this equipment here. He's like, go for it.
Oh, he would just let you go.
Go for it. There's kids lighting themselves
Figure it
on
out.
fire and shit. And then he runs over there and puts the kid out of fire and shit. He's like, hey, the reason you got lit on fire is because you didn't fucking do this.
At least he would tell you.
All right, yeah.
Right.
You know, you learn trial and error and shit.
Sure. Sometimes
So-
it's the best way to learn.
You know, in there I learned how to weld and shit. I stole like 2 handicap signs, parking signs, and then I made like a sick flat bar. I made a kinked flat bar that lasted 1 board slide.
Okay.
went through the kink and that shit went pow. Yeah. That shit broke in the middle.
But the ceramics now.
Oh, the ceramics is just like I go to these thrift stores and I go to flea markets and I find these sick ass ceramic things and I'm like, how can I if I'm looking at this ceramic thing or any object really and I'm like, how can I do something? Is there something there? If I'm even like, is there something there? I buy it.
You got okay.
And then I go home and figure it out.
So you're taking shit already made.
Yeah.
And then doing your shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have
got
done
you.
ceramic stuff though.
Okay.
Like my mom still has those ones too. Those
Yeah,
are
yeah,
old,
yeah.
those are old ones.
Huh. Now, do you sell like the metal work that you do and shit too?
Yeah, I sell the metal ones.
That must go for more than the paintings, no?
Yeah, I did. Back in the day when Supreme opened their Osaka store, they had me do like 16 metal masks, and they had them all like behind the register. Boom, like all these masks. I made hella masks for Supreme.
It's a lot of work.
I did a store, yeah.
How long does one mask take?
So I'd be able to bang out, because they start off as a flat sheet of metal. And I got this big ass wooden bowl, and I put them in there, and I'm just banging away, right? And I make it into a bowl, like a mask shape, turn it around, and then I make the face and stuff. So I'll be able to do 2 masks in one day.
Oh, wow.
And then I'll be out for like 3 or 4 days because my arm be so weak.
You're banging that shit all day.
So I'd be able to do 2 of them, and then I'd have to like be chilling. I couldn't even pick up like this drink.
Probably had like tendonitis.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, my arms would be so weak, right? And then after 3 or 4 days, then I'd be able to tackle him, you know.
Gotcha.
And then hit him. So it's a big process.
It's a good workout, though.
Yeah.
Got guns.
On one arm.
Okay, now, what happened with Spanky? You set him on fire, pretty much.
He was talking shit, man.
You shouldn't have been talking shit.
Talking shit.
No, you guys were doing some shit with spray paint or some kind of paint, right? And then he was covered in paint. And then what happened? You tell the story. What happened?
So we were all at his house, and I was sleeping on his couch.
Okay.
For like a year.
Hardwood.
I mean, the couch felt like hardwood after I put a dent in it from sleeping on it for so long. But I was sleeping on this fool's couch. We were all getting fucking hammered. It was like rain. It was like one year when it was raining for like 2 weeks straight or some shit. And we were just fucking hammered. And me, of course, playing with fire. And we're just like sitting down, like wasted, like he had like spray paint all over his face, like painting his arms silver and shit.
Okay.
Like we were going off. We were on a good one.
Yeah.
And then I'm like playing with the lighter. I'm like lighting his shirt on fire, and it'd catch fire a little bit, and then I'd put it out, and then I'd give him the lighter, and then he'd light my shirt on fire, and he put it out.
Okay.
And we were just doing that shit back and forth, wasted, right? And then I go fucking light one right here, and it goes whoo, lights up. That Ruka shirt lit up quick.
Wow.
And then it lit up, and then we put him out. We're like laughing, put him out and shit. And then the next day, I'm on the couch and I wake up and I'm like, oh shit. I was like, I fool got burnt or something. And then like I go into the room and he's in there just like toasted, right? Oh. I'm like, oh shit. And then he's there like, we're taking him to the hospital. And I was like, oh shit.
Like he was fucked up.
Yeah. So I really burnt his ass.
Damn.
And then and they took him to the hospital, and then I was like, oh no, I straight burnt my best friend.
Right.
Like cooked him. And then he's in the hospital. They do skin graft, take skin off of his head, put it onto his back.
Oh man.
All this shit, right? And I'm like, I feel so bad. And I'm like, fuck. And I go to meet up with all these fools to go eat while Spanky's in the hospital. Mm-hmm. And these fools are like, oh, there's the dude that lit his best friend on fire. And I was like, fuck, dude. And then so I'm like talking to this fool. I'm talking to Spanky. I'm like, damn, I feel so bad. Like all these fools made me feel so bad. He's like, dude, don't even trip. Like we were both being stupid. Like whatever. And I was like, I'm off the hook then, huh?
Well, when you burn your best friend, it's
Yeah.
I mean, he could hold a grudge.
You ain't real friends until you light each other on fire.
Oh, you hear that, Raj?
So,
Don't try it,
Where's the
please.
lighter?
but
Let's kill it
yeah.
on fire tonight.
Yeah.
And then he married his first wife.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny to say his first wife. His first wife. He got married to her because she was like taking care of him and shit, and like taking care of his wounds and stuff.
Because it was a long healing process for him.
Yeah. So he got married through that. So if he didn't get lit on fire, then he wouldn't have met his wife.
So
It was all to you.
And then he ended up divorcing that bitch. So I guess it was all this shit is my fault.
Damn.
Sorry, Kevin.
yeah, long recovery for
Yeah.
him, right? He got burned bad. Mm-hmm. Damn. Neck, dude. What are you doing, bro?
I know. And now I'm not allowed to carry lighters anymore.
Oh no, you just
Yeah.
Banned.
you banned yourself.
Dude,
Yeah.
Dude, neither of you guys drink anymore, right?
Well, I drove here, so I ain't drinking right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm on these non-alcoholic White Claws right now.
Yeah.
Tangerine flavor.
But dude, I've been driving I just got my license like 7 months ago.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
35 years old.
First time you've gotten your license?
First time I got my license. Yes, sir. Yep.
How's it going so far?
It's going
Any
good.
accidents? No tickets?
Nah, not yet.
Okay.
I mean, I got some tickets like parking
tickets?
and shit.
Yeah, that happens.
Fucking
but-
street sweeping, whatever.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get on that Kevin Bradley tip. Not really.
How is it though, driving? Like, easy,
It's
right?
good, dude. I want to hit some people, man.
Okay.
Well, LA's crazy for driving.
That's
man.
why,
Yeah.
like, I got a car. I ain't gonna tell you what kind of car it is, but I want to put like stickers and like all kinds of shit on it. But I'm like, dude, what if I get in a hit and run? They're gonna be like, oh, that dude with the Baker sticker on his car hit my shit. And I'm like, so I'm keeping my shit fucking low key. So
Yeah.
Keep it on the
I'm
down
planning
low.
on a hit and run later.
Are you?
Yeah.
Have
Maybe
you-
on the way home.
Have you done artwork on someone's car before?
I have done artwork on the car with permission and without permission.
That'd be
yeah.
kind of cool though if you did it on mine. I'd be like, fuck, I got a cool piece in my
Yeah.
car. That'd probably
Yeah.
up the value in my car.
Yes,
do you want to do it right now?
I've been driving. Yeah, I'm down.
Goes to the Honda dealership. What do you mean? I got Neckface's shit on my shit.
Yeah.
Come
That'd be
on.
sick.
Man.
But
That's
yeah,
so
you know
funny,
who else
dude.
got their license later in life is Jake Phelps. He got his at 39.
39.
That was the first. When I got my license, I was the first dude I hit up. I was like, hey, I almost got you. I got my shit at 35. He was like, hit the road.
Well, it's funny because you were, before the show, you were talking about riding your bike. That's why you were riding your bike everywhere, right?
Nah, I just started riding my bike because
would you-
I fucked my heel up skating, trying this trick. I don't know if you guys know this, but we're on Baker 4 deadline right now.
Yeah.
oh,
Are you going to have
yeah.
a part?
I got a part.
What?
Nah, I don't know if I ain't got no part, but I got some tricks up in there. I got a trick
Sick.
list, dude.
You got a trick list.
Fools don't know that. I got a trick list, and
They
I've
cross
been
them off, though.
I've been checking shit off my list.
How long's the list? What are we talking?
I got probably like 6 tricks crossed off the list right
dope.
now.
Bad,
dude.
Not bad.
If I had a part, I got my ender.
Now, wait a minute. I've been seeing these posts now. Baker 4.
Yeah.
Like, we've been waiting for this for a long time. So, are you still trying to check shit off the list? Or is there a deadline set? Or, I mean, can you give us any
Deadline is set.
lowdown?
The deadline is pretty much at the end of this month,
And
October.
you got like Necktoberfest going? How
I
you
know,
gonna do
but I
this?
already got my I got my shit.
Yeah, but it's never enough, though. You got to get more.
Yeah, I'm gonna get more. I got some shit I gotta clean up, but pretty much I got some shit in there.
Okay.
And so the reason I'm riding a bike, check this out. I don't know if anyone's ever done this, but I fucked my heel up trying this trick, and I was clocking in at 205 pounds.
205.
205, dude.
Okay.
I ain't supposed to be 205.
Heavyweight.
Heavyweight, dog.
Yeah.
And so basically, there's a whole story. I went in to the doctor because I was waking up with numb hands, and I was like, damn.
Weird.
I was like, I know numb feet is diabetes. And my family's got history with diabetes, right? And I was like, shit. So I went to the doctor and checked my hands out.
This is when you were 205.
So I go in, and then the lady's like checking my shit out or whatever, and she's like, you got beginning stages of carpal tunnel. And
Oh.
I got that shit just from working so much,
Right.
You know, painting and shit, and
Metalwork
using my
and
hands.
shit.
And I was like, fuck. Like and then she told me like the surgery, if you needed to get the surgery, it's not that gnarly.
Oh.
It's just like basically there's a big tube, and it's fucking getting closed off because I sleep like this, I guess. And then if it kept happening, if I couldn't reverse it, they drill a big ass hole so it has room to breathe, and then you just get rid of it. It's not that
I
gnarly.
mean, they just drill a hole in the
they
palm of your hand?
Yeah, they open it up or whatever.
What are you just
Oh.
walking around with a hole in your shit?
Nah, man, it's in the inside, and then you got a little full pipe in there. But
A little bowl.
so they sent me. So she's like, "All right, so just step on the scale, and then we'll check your blood, and then we'll get you out of here, whatever." And I was like, "All right." And I haven't weighed myself in so long. I get on the scale, and she's like, "Okay, 205. Okay, now come over here." And I was like, "What'd you say?" And she's like, 205. I was like, "What?" I was like, "No way." I was like, "I know I ain't supposed to be
You're
205.
like, let me do that again.
And so I was like, God damn, I'm 205. And then she sent me with these fucking wrist guards. They're like Ace wrist guards, and I had to sleep with these wrist guards on for like
So-
2 months. I'm sleeping like this and shit. And then So I go to try this trick and I get smoked, right? And I'm like, I'm too heavy for this trick. I was like, I need to drop some LBs.
Okay.
I was like, whatever it takes. We're filming for Baker 4, dog. Like,
HD.
whatever,
Yeah,
like
you
whatever
you gotta do to make it happen.
whatever I
yeah.
gotta do to make it happen. So my little brother put me on a fast. I went on a fast and I fucking dropped 12 pounds in 4 days.
You didn't eat anything for 4 days.
48 hours.
Okay.
And then you get to eat for an hour straight, and then you do another
What do you mean
48
eat for
hours.
an hour straight? You go to all you
I
can
mean,
eat
you
buffet?
Yeah, I had like
Go to the
hella
soup
I had
plantation?
hella chicken and veggies and shit, and I'm drinking this fucking juice. This like it's just like salt water,
Some
pretty
type of
much.
cleanse or some shit.
And then yeah, I dropped to 12, and then I had fucked my heel up on that trick. So I was like, damn, I gotta keep moving, or else I'm gonna get back up to them 205s.
Yeah.
So I got this bike from Fairdale. Shout out Fairdale.
Hell yeah.
And
I got a Fairdale.
oh yeah,
Raj
you
got a
guys had one
Fairdale.
right? Yeah,
Yep.
Fairdale was sick.
Yep.
And so they give me a bike, so I'm hitting the streets on this bike, right? And I'm doing like 5 miles this week.
Okay.
And then I'm just building up, and then now I'm up to like 20. I could do like 30 miles. Like I go down to fucking Dockweiler. I go around LAX and
Oh,
shit.
seriously?
And
You
so,
should hit me up because I ride my bike around here too.
yeah. So I'm on the bike, dude. And I haven't been on the bike for like a month now because I've been super busy.
Yeah.
But I'm on this bike, and I dropped some more LBs, and then I went back to do this trick, and then you guys are gonna have to watch the video.
Oh.
So you got it.
I don't know, dude.
Did Beagle get it?
Yeah, Beagle.
I dropped some weight to get this trick.
What are you at now?
I'm at 172.
Oh damn.
Okay.
You really?
What do you want to be at?
I don't give a fuck.
Just not 205.
I'm just trying to skate, man.
Yeah.
I ollied up the courthouse
The stage?
Yeah.
Sick.
That's what's
twice.
Yeah.
Never did that ever.
That ain't low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Why did you initially get your driver's license now?
He's Ubering now.
yeah, I do Uber. I do Lyft. Nah, what happened is I have this scooter, and I got pulled over on this scooter, and they're like, "You don't got no license. You don't got this, and I was like, "Oh no, I've never done it." Like I was running around this city with no car for 11 years.
That's tough to do in LA.
Before Uber.
Yeah.
I was riding the bus, the train. I don't mind it. It's fucking sick. So
It just
anytime
takes a long time.
anytime someone says like, "Oh, LA, you need a car," I'm like, "Nah, dude. I've been fucking running around this town with no car for a long ass time." So I got my license now, and yeah, I'm just looking for some shit to hit.
Now but now that you got the car, the bike took a back seat.
Nah.
Just
I mean,
to work out.
He's like working on
Yeah.
the show.
yeah,
I know, I'm just
super,
saying, though.
super busy right now, so I haven't hit the bike.
So after Necktoberfest,
After Necktoberfest, you're gonna
Back on
see
the
me.
bike.
You're gonna see me riding by
you
this.
got to hit us up because we're all right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seriously ride right by here.
Yeah. Dude, we
So-
could all meet up like the
Yep.
ET, like the Goonies.
I'm at Venice Park at like 9 a.m.
Damn.
I ain't skating. I'm just watching, talking shit. Then
Yeah.
I take off, head back to Hollywood. And then I'm like, fools just start waking up.
Yeah.
They're like, "What are you doing?" Actually, I already rode
Got a full
across
day.
town, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good God.
That sounds like a fun time, honestly.
But
How
yeah,
long does that take you from Hollywood to
it'd take me like an hour and a half there and back. I'll be like, I'll get to Venice in like 41 minutes.
Damn.
41? That's a record.
Yep.
Not bad on a bike.
Not
41,
bad.
41 minutes.
You got headphones in or?
Nah, I got a little AM FM radio strapped to the bike.
What are you listening to talk
the wave,
radio?
the wave, dude. 93.7 the wave. And it's like Whitney Houston, Alicia Keys and shit.
I'd love to hear that coming down the street and look
Yeah.
over. It's Neckface.
Yep. That's me. Just jamming, dude. And then yeah, I put up little stickers and shit here
On
and
the
there.
way,
It
yeah.
all adds up.
Okay. Yeah.
And then
Leave a trail all the way back to your house.
yeah,
Yeah.
front door. Sticker
Yep.
on the front door. What about all these collabs? Like what, you Nike SB, Stussy, tons of them.
yeah.
What was your first one?
First big one was Supreme.
Okay. That wasn't the masks, right? It was something else?
It was shirts.
Shirts.
I did these shirts for them, and yeah, they hit me up, and a lot of people were hitting me up, and I learned early on to pick and choose You know, one false move, and your shit's a wrap. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you do some shit for fucking
So if Skechers hit you up,
Skechers, and then you're like, oh, that dude's weak. He did Skechers, or that's a wrap. Don't even hit him up anymore. So
Yeah.
a lot of people were hitting me up and shit, and I was like, nah, that's fucking weak. You know, you pick and choose,
Yeah.
because this shit's about like longevity. You know,
Yeah.
you want to make fucking $5,000 in one day, or you want to make fucking 25 grand.
it's a long-term
throughout
hustle.
fucking some months and shit.
Long-term
Yeah.
hustle.
Yeah. So you got to pick and choose. So Supreme hit me up. I was like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
And they asked me to do, I think it was 3 shirts.
Oh.
And they told me, they were like, all right, how much you want to get paid? And I was like, but I learned this shit in school. One thing I learned in school, I was like, what are you guys comfortable paying? Or what are you guys used to paying? And then they're like, well, we usually pay this much. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. I was like, all right.
So you're not bidding against yourself.
Yeah.
You're not saying, you're not
Yeah.
just giving a price and they're
I
like,
wasn't, I would, my dumbass would have been like $500.
Right.
And then be like, easy.
Yeah.
easy for all 3? Sure.
We'll go to petty cash.
Meanwhile, there's a line down the street for it.
I
Yeah.
know.
So they told me how much, and then I was like, all right, yeah, I'm comfortable there. And I did the shirts and got paid, and I was like, counting on my hands, I was like, the only expensive thing that I knew that I could like add it up to was like a laptop. And I was like, dude, I could buy like 4 laptops.
Okay.
I was like, that was the most money I ever had. I
Are
was
these
like,
MacBook Airs or
I was
actually MacBook
this is
Pros?
like when it first came, MacBook first came out. But I was like, dude, I could get like 4 MacBooks. I was like, damn, that's like the most money I ever had, right? And to this day, I still go based off of what they paid me. When somebody asks me,
Oh, really?
what's my going rate?
Yeah.
I tell them this.
Do artists and like people, do they not talk about money? Is it the same thing? Like, or is it more of the person who bought it is the person that's kind of saying, oh, I bought this for this much? Or because it seems like you don't really divulge any prices.
I haven't
It's
said
like,
shit. You know
I
that?
But that's what I'm saying. Is it like
As soon as you
something
start telling prices, then fools will be like, hey, give me a drink, man. I know you got it.
Yeah.
These dudes are paying me fucking $500 each thing.
Well, I seen the Lamborghini you rolled up in.
Yeah, dude. I'm a thousandaire, put it that way.
Okay.
I'm a thousandaire.
Right. Do you spend your money a lot, or do you?
I did that already. We ain't doing that no more.
No more spending money. What's the stupidest thing you spent money on?
Probably
Usually-
probably hookers.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
No, usually it's like cars or watches that people.
Nah, my
that's the
shit,
that,
my shit that I do, I was like, I'll buy like a fucking a silver Jason mask from Mexico.
So you buy like
I'll buy like a fucking like a Terminator statue or some shit or like some shit. You know, like
it's pretty. Yeah.
so.
I kind of want a Terminator statue.
Like people sometimes are always like, why don't you ball out? Why don't you buy fucking this and that? I was like, dude, I already did that. I know what the low stakes taste like, and I know what these high stakes taste like. I've already bought dumb shit and spent all my money and balled out. Like this ain't the way to go. You know.
And as you get older too,
Yeah.
I mean, time to start looking to save some fucking cash.
Yeah. I got cash that I'm saving for a big project that hopefully one day I'll get funded. Is the dream to get it funded, but I'm saving. I'm like, if it ain't gonna get funded, I'm paying for it.
I know you're not going to tell us. I'm trying to think what
Nah, I ain't
would be
gonna tell
super, what
Some
would be
giant
that
statue.
expensive that you need funding.
I wouldn't be making no money off of it. It's just like I said, I do this shit because I want to.
Yeah, of course.
You know,
Right.
so I would
right.
be doing it. It'd just be something that I want to check off the list.
So the stupidest thing you bought was a silver Jason mask.
I'm trying to
Is
think
that-
what I bought. I bought a Freddy. I had my homie make a custom Freddy necklace. Not this one, but it was like all gold, solid gold.
iced out.
It was like $500,
That's nothing,
and
bro.
then I lost it.
I see. That's what sucks. Yeah.
But I'll be in the bar. I'll buy everyone drinks.
oh, that's
That's cool.
But if we're at Black, I'm buying drinks, but I get free drinks there. So
Ownership has its privileges.
yeah.
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 What
Yeah.
about when like you're doing collabs with Supreme or something? Do they like give you kind of like a guideline of what they're looking for? They're just like,
Do
yo, we
some
want these
shit.
shirts. Go do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, Supreme. They kind of just told me to do whatever I wanted to do,
Oh,
which
that's
is sick.
Are there other companies that'll kind of try to tell you what to do?
I mean, I've been doing this shit for so long that I know what like when you're working for Vans or Nike, I know I can't have no like hanging babies
Yeah.
or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's some stuff that you just kind of got to learn how to talk to these companies and tell them what shit is. You know, like one time I had like on this thing I had these upside down crosses, just like lines, like you know, upside down cross. They're like, hey, we can't have no upside down crosses on this shit. I'm like, that's a sword, dude. Ain't no upside down cross. What you think I am? That's a sword, bro. And they're like,
But it was an upside down cross.
It's a sword.
2 lines.
Does that frustrate you?
No, it don't frustrate me at all because, you know, I'll do my little thing and I'll make it as sick as possible with within the guidelines.
Right.
Of like, you know, obviously I can't do my crazy shit, but then when I get that done with, then I get to do my own shit, you know. And a lot of times, like, you know, like when I get a paycheck, it goes into something that I want to do. You know what I mean? Like one time I got paid like a large amount of money from my first collab with Nike.
Okay.
And I had all this cash at one time and I was scared, dude. I was like, holy shit. I was like, what the fuck am I? I was like, I wasn't scared that I was going to blow it on some fucking silver Jason mask or some shit, but I was scared that I was going to blow it just like on rent or fucking buying food and shit. Like it's just chipping away at it
overspending
on some bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Like I wasn't going to buy like a fucking sick ass car or nothing. I was, you know, I don't do that shit, but I was scared that it was just going to fucking disappear
Dwindle down
on
to
some
nothing.
like just living regular life,
Sure.
right? So the opportunity for Black opened up to be an investor in that. And then I was like, you know, I've always heard like invest in what you know. And I know bars. And so I was like, here you go. Boom. I gave him all my money, became an investor in Black, and it's the smartest thing I ever did with my money.
Boom.
That place is awesome, dude.
Yeah.
And now they got.
Yeah.
Are you partners with the one in Long Beach as well?
Nah, I had the funds for the Long Beach one, but it would have been all of my funds.
Oh, okay.
So I would have been all in and just been broke.
Yeah. Right.
So I got to paint the bar, like paint the inside of it. I did a shirt for them.
LBC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dope.
And I did the logo.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Man.
Wow.
I wonder how much you got paid from the Nike thing. That's a lot of money. Well, the big company there.
What? There's a lot of investors for the Black, right? Or Black Bar. Like, does he work there?
Yeah, Heath works there sometimes. I don't think he works there right anymore, but he's one of the main investors. Him and the girls, Beth and Shannon,
Oh, wow.
are the main investors.
And Atiba is a part of it too, right?
Atiba, yeah.
Wow. I always trip out. I see Heath. And I'm like, dude, am I gonna buy a beer from Heath Kirk?
Working behind a
man.
bar. That's amazing.
Hell yeah, you are.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I want to say what up, but
We got to have Heath on the show, dude.
Oh, please.
Good luck.
I know. I'm just planting the seed there, Heath.
It's got to be his idea.
What about like the Thrasher cover that you did, the artwork? How did that come about?
So I was already living in New York, and I got a taste of the big city, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I go back to my hometown, which is in Northern California.
Yeah.
It's about an hour and a half away from San Francisco.
Okay.
And I get back to my hometown, and it's crickets, dude. I'm like, this shit is boring as fuck.
Just dead.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's just dead, so quiet. And I was like, dude, what do I do now? I've been exposed to the big city. Like, what do I do? I'm back home for like Thanksgiving or Christmas or some shit. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, dude, I'm going to SF. And I have my mom drive me to the last stop on the BART train, which is Dublin Pleasanton. And then I get on the BART, and then it's another like 45 minutes.
Did you even know where you were going?
Yeah, I knew some of SF, but I didn't know anyone there either. So I go to SF. I got fucking markers and paint on me and shit. And I'm like, same thing, running around SF, writing on everything.
Okay.
I'm like, I'm going to EMB. I'm going to fucking Hubba Hideout. I'm going to like just all these spots, and I'm writing on everything, right? And then I'm riding all over the city. And then I take that last BART at midnight, hit my mom up right before I get on the train, and she comes and picks me up like perfect time.
Day trip.
I'm doing all this shit in the daytime, like skating and writing on everything, right? And
This
then
is like 2004, 2005.
Yep,
Okay.
2004, 2005.
Gotcha.
I'm writing on everything, and because I needed that big city taste, right? And SF had it, and then so I didn't know anyone there, and then writing on everything. Then I start meeting some people there and shit, like other graffiti writers and some skaters and shit. And I start getting like a little group of friends or whatever. And then this one dude hits me up to do a poster for Juxtapose. And Juxtapose High Speed.
Yeah.
And then I do this poster. Oh, before that, this lady hit me up. Or a lady found me and she's like, "Hey, I work for the Bay Guardian. This old it's out of business now, but it was a free newspaper for the city of SF."
Okay.
And so they were like, cover story. This dude's writing all over the city. Who is he? Whatever. And so they put me on the cover of this fucking free magazine that's everywhere.
How did they know to get in contact with you?
I know.
I forget how. Maybe I think a gallery that I had a show with there. Like, that's usually how people find me.
They do the research.
They like go to the gallery and say, "Hey," and then they'll be like, "I don't know how. Well,
But his
maybe
email.
we'll fucking figure them out or find them or some shit." And then they email me, "Hey, do you want to do this?" And I'm like, "Sure."
And this was before your identity. This was you.
Yeah. Still wearing a mask.
Still
and
wearing a
shit.
mask, right? Okay.
And then so I do this cover of the Bay Guardian, and they put me on the cover. They're like, "Yo, this kid just skates around and writes on shit."
Okay.
And they're like, "We want you on the cover." And they're like, "Bring your board." And I'm like skating. They take a picture of me, and I'm like going down a hill, and I'm like this, like scaring the camera or something with a mask on. And then
when you go meet these people, are you always wearing a mask, or
Nah.
you just okay?
I just like meet them like normal, and then I'm like,
Okay.
"Oh, you got the cameras out?" Boom, mask is on.
Gotcha.
And so like I started writing on shit in front of this lady who's doing the interview for me. And then I get caught. Like some people see me and like whatever, they yell for the cops and shit, and I fucking take off running.
in the middle of an interview.
Middle of
Yeah,
an interview, and then the
Still wearing a lav mic?
the lady's just like, "Oh my god, this is action packed." And I take
gold.
off, I hit her up. I have like some Sprint flip phone or some shit, like my first cell phone. And then I'm like, "Hey, I'm over here, come meet me." And she comes to meet me, and I'm still writing on shit. And then I'm on the cover of the Bay Guardian, and then I do Juxtapose cover. Or not cover, a fucking poster for this thing in 2004. And then Jake Phelps, rest in peace, he sees the Bay Guardian, and he reads every newspaper, Jake.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Who the fuck is this kid on a skateboard on the cover of my local paper?"
Right.
Who is this dude? Like, and then he sees the Juxtaposed poster that I did, and he likes that. And then he's like, he gets in contact with me through the Juxtaposed people. They're like, I'm like in SF writing on shit, and then they're like, they hit me up. They're like, "Hey, like Jake from the mag wants to meet you." And I was like, "Oh, I know who that is.
Yeah.
I know who the fuck Jake Phelps is."
Right.
And I was like, "All right, like, let me see what's up." So I go to High Speed, and I go to Jake's office. Jake's sitting there, and we introduce each other, and instantly he's talking shit to me. Like, talking shit, I talk shit right back to him. And it's just like, and then it was like all good. Like he talked shit to me, I talked shit back to him, and then that was it. We were friends forever after that, right?
Yeah.
And then he sits me down, he's like talking to me, and he's like, "Yeah, your stuff is sick." He's like, "We're thinking about," he's like, "putting you on the cover of the mag." And I was like, holy shit. Like, that's like,
The Bible.
The Bible, dude. That's like, getting the cover to the biggest thing ever for me, for skateboarders.
Yeah.
That's royalty right there,
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was like, holy shit, no way, dude. And then I was like, all right, let's do it. I was like, "What do you want?" And he's like, "Do whatever you want." He's like, "Paint whatever you want, and we'll put it on the cover." I'm like, "All right, sick." I go back home, and I draw these covers up. Like, they're in the mag. If you ever see the mag, it says "Too Hot for TV," and it's like I did like a bat with a bunch of heads floating in the air, like with blood dripping out and shit.
Yeah.
And I bring all these pieces back to High Speed, and I'm like, "All right, here you go." And Jake looks at them all, and he's like, "Where's the board, idiot?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "You said I could do whatever I want." And he's like, "We're a fucking skateboard magazine." He's like, "Well, there ain't no skateboard here." He's like, "I want a fucking demon skating a dead body or some shit." And I was like, "Okay, fucking, you said I could do whatever I want, but obviously you want."
You had something in mind,
Now I know what to do. All right,
to the drawing board.
Go back, draw this shit up, and then I draw the dude doing the fucking front crook or front nose grind on the coffin, and I bring it, and Jake's like, fuck yeah, this is the one, dude.
Wow.
This is it. And he's like, before I brought that cover back after the first attempts, he took me to Crocker Skate Park. And he took me to the skate park, and I think he wanted to see if I was actually a skateboarder and not like some fucking nerd that just sits in the office and draws all day.
Okay.
He's like trying to see if I was really like, if I was down and if I skated and shit, right? And he takes me to Crocker Skate Park, which is a gnarly park in SF that he like helped design or whatever. And we go there, and there's all these kids, these young kids, like on the ledge, and Jake's giving them the mag, giving them stickers and shit. And then he's like, hey, this is my buddy Neckface or whatever. And then nobody knew who I was at the time, so I was like, hey, don't be telling people who I am, like in front of these kids, right?
Yeah.
And these kids, they were like later on, they became like my best friends. Like it was like Sean Gutierrez, Gut, and my homie Fatty, and like Jordy, who works for the mag and shit. Like all these fools that are like my homies now. But that was them on the curb. And then they said they hated me because I said that. They're like, man, fuck this dude.
Tell him not to say
Tell him not to say who
yeah.
I am in my town, like whatever, right? I didn't know. So Jake puts me there, and we're skating Crocker and whatever. I'm eating shit and fucking doing like I'm skating. We're skating together and shit. And then Jake was just like, I saw him. He was like, all right, yeah, this dude fucking, he skates. Like he's a skate rat.
Okay.
Like he's down. And so I go back home. I draw the cover, and I come back, and then he's like, all right, yeah. He's like, this is the one. He's like, now we got to show it to the old man. And the real old man was Fausto. Mm-hmm. And so he's like, all right. He gives me like a little prep talk in the beginning in his office, right? He's like, all right. He's like, we're going to show him the cover. He's like, don't fucking say no dumb shit. He's like, this is fucking important. He's like, when he comes out, just don't say nothing. He's like, if he likes it, he'll like it, and then we're good. He's like, don't fuck this up, kid. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, I don't get nervous for nothing, right? But I'm like scared because this is the mag, and this is like my life, like Thrasher. And then I'm like, fuck, dude, I better not fuck this up. So Fausto comes out of his office. Jake's like, gives it to him. He's like, this is what we want on the cover. And Fausto's looking at it and shit. And he's like, I like it. He's like, put a black Thrasher on the top and run it or whatever. And then the whole time that Fausto's looking at the thing, Jake's behind him, and Jake's going like this behind Fausto's head, like
no
doing
way.
that, right? And I'm like trying not to look at Jake. Jake's like fucking like going like that to him. I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm like all nervous and shit, trying not to look at him. And then Fausto's like, yeah, put a logo on the top and run it and whatever. And then that was it. And then Jake just socks me in the chest. He's like, we did it, kid. And then it was on right there. And that's my intro to fucking being part of the Thrasher family. And
crazy.
It's been a hell ride since.
Hell ride, man.
And then yeah, I did that cover, and that fucking set it off for so much shit.
Oh, did it really?
Like Spanky, when I met Spanky, like I was 19, I was like 18 or 19, I think 19, but I met him, and everyone had already knew that I did the cover. It was like, boom, like, oh, the Thrasher cover that just came out. This is you. Dustin was at Max Fish. He's like, who's Neckface? Like, oh, the senior cover, fucking sick, whatever. Met him and shit, and that's how all these, like, again, skateboarding brought everything
crazy,
to me.
right?
Insane, yeah. And then I just been on the road since with the mag.
All the shit that you've done so far, right? Mm-hmm. You've done the Thrasher, you've done these collabs. Is there anything that means the most moment to you? Like, proudest moment.
I mean, every moment above ground is a good moment.
I like it. Okay.
Yeah, true,
yeah.
But no, I'm proud of all my work. Like everything that I do. I'm sitting there for hours drawing this shit. There's no way I'm not gonna like it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I love all my work, and I got no favorites. But I mean, after the Thrasher cover, you could have fucking shot me in the head and killed me right there. I'm done. You know,
happy.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
That's, to this day, that's like, ain't nobody's had their artwork on the cover of the mag since 2005. And there's only been like a handful of people. And one of those people is fucking Mark Gonzalez, Robert Williams, Pusshead. So you're up there with the legends.
Crazy.
And then you got these legends blessing you. You know, you got Jake and Fausto being like, yeah, all right, this is on the cover.
Means a lot.
Means a bunch, you know?
Hell yeah.
So
dude.
it's like, that's like my sickest moment ever. I mean, I have sick moments every day.
So that's up there. That's up there
That's
at the top.
That's up there.
Yeah.
Being a Simpsons character is another one.
They did that for Vans, right?
Yeah, I had this Vans collab, and they did a collab for the Simpsons movie. And then Matt Groening drew me, and then it ended up on the shoebox and shit.
Crazy.
And we went to the red carpet premiere for the Simpsons movie. And then I'm the only one they drew with the mask on. I had my mask on and shit. And then Matt Groening comes up to all the artists. We're all there. And he's like, he goes up to all the artists. He's meeting everyone. He's like, now which one of you guys is Neckface? I was like, right here, dude. And then he said that to me. He went like this.
Oh, he gave you like he was bowing down like a.
Matt Groening bow down,
No
dog.
way.
I was like, that is sick. Right
Hell
there.
yeah, dude.
How does it? This is crazy, dude. This
Yeah.
kid, from NorCal, just
Yep.
doing art and stuff, going to New York.
The
Mark
golden
Gonzalez,
child. The
coming
chosen
to
one.
Thrasher.
Chosen one for sure.
Have you ever thought about doing a cartoon?
I'm working on that now.
Oh,
I've been pitching to like Adult Swim and.
Oh, there you go.
Network
Can I do a
shit.
voice?
Yeah.
Do I have to audition?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, I'm working on that shit. That's one of the last things that me and Jake were talking about. Jake was like, he's like, what's up with the cartoon? He's like, I'm out there trying, dude. And he's like, flood the block. That's the last text I got from him. Flood the block.
Nice.
He's like, stay persistent.
yeah.
He's like, stay on him.
how does that? I mean, cartoon seems like a lot of like drawing at that point.
Nowadays it's computers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They take the majority of your characters and then they kind of morph it into like what
They can
the
manipulate them.
yeah manipulate.
Yeah,
them, right?
it's a lot of work, but I ain't scared.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be like the next level, and that shit ain't about the money to me.
Right.
You know, I'm making money on my own shit. You know, cartoon shit is something that I love.
Yeah.
And that I like to do. I would like to do. You know what I mean? And I think I got something to offer. Adult Swim, hit me back.
There you go. But it's all about
That'd be
it's just
Netflix, hit me
yeah,
back.
it's about like accomplishments, right? It's about the just checking stuff off the list. Right?
I'm in the
It's
bonus
like-
round, dude.
Bonus
I'm in
round.
the bonus round. We almost died in Africa. We should have been dead in Africa.
Oh, you were on the bus.
Hell yeah. I was driving that shit. I'm
No,
just
you
kidding.
weren't.
Nuge was driving.
It's literally the anniversary though, 4 years ago, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen everybody posting about it recently.
I still have flashbacks.
Where were you in that?
I was in the
van?
very back.
Oh shit! What,
I was in the very back, and you can hear in the footage I'm asking for a can of cider. Drinking all this drinking ciders on there.
That's crazy, dude.
But yeah, like Jake said, he's like, after Africa, bonus rounds.
Bonus round.
So we're in the bonus round right now. But
Damn.
do you mostly do most of the graphics for Baker? How did you get involved over there?
how I got involved in Baker is I had my homie Rich Jacobs put me on the Ruka, and I was doing shit for Ruka, and Spanky rode for Ruka. And then I went and did an art show out there in Costa Mesa, and I was painting there and shit. And I think I was like 19, and it was just me. I didn't know where the fuck I was. I was just like little kid skating the ramp and shit. And then I guess Pat or somebody from Ruka was like, yo, take this dude out, like go show him around town or some shit. And Spanky and Leo had been like living there, and little Alex too, Alex Olsen.
Yeah.
And they're like, take this dude out. And so they're like, hey, you want to go bowling? Like, little kid, you want to go bowling? I'm like, all right, let's go. Like, get in the van. I'm going bowling with these kids, right? And I knew who they were, and they just found out who I was. And then we're in the van, and it's all quiet in the van, like no one, like little kid, like not talking to each other and shit. And I was like, damn, I gotta say something. And for some reason, I don't even know why, but I had hella fireworks in my pocket. I had like a shit ton of M80s.
Oh, M80.
Yeah, I had like hella M80s.
That ain't no little black
That's no
cat.
joke, yeah.
I don't know, maybe I brought them from home or someone gave them to me. I can't remember, but I had a whole pocket full of M80s. And we're driving, we get to the bowling alley, and then nobody's saying nothing to each other, and I break the ice. I was like, hey, I got M80s. I just tell these fools, I got a bunch of M80s, and they were like, what, for real? I was like, yeah, dude, I got hella M80s. And then they're like, let's light them off. So we're lighting all these shits off in the parking lot and shit. And then boom, I became best friends with Spanky right there.
Off of M80s.
Off of M80s. Fire. It all comes back to fire.
Fire.
Yeah.
And then I get bagged in Costa Mesa doing a billboard.
Oh, really?
I get arrested, and then I get locked up for like 2 days or some shit. And it was Costa Mesa jail. It wasn't shit.
Okay.
It was like nice, like Airbnb, pretty much. But so I end up getting hell hours of community service in Costa Mesa, and these dudes are living there. And then I'm just like, so I live there now because I got to do all this community service.
Oh.
So I'm kicking it with these dudes, and then that's how we became like really good friends. And then like Robin was working for Baker, and then Spanky was like told Robin that he wanted me to do a board for him.
Oh, sick.
And then I was like, boom, I met Andrew, I met Dustin, I met all these fools, Eric, like I met the whole Baker crew, like the illest team ever.
They're tight.
Yeah. So I met these dudes, and then like whatever, I did a board for Spanky, and then I've been doing boards for them since.
It's incredible.
And it's
dude.
like I get hit up by like so many people to do boards and shit, and I'm doing boards for Baker. Sorry guys.
What about if we hit you up to do a mug?
We're gonna talk about it off the air.
You know his price.
That's what I'm scared of. Yeah. We're looking for charity.
And then so
How many
yeah.
board series have you done with them?
Fuck, I don't even know. Probably like, well, I know for sure that this is the best-selling board series they've had so far.
Wow.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, the new guys are killing it too, so it's fucking rad
That's-
squad.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And plus, too, it's a whole series, so people want to buy the whole thing.
And it's on the 9 Club now.
It's on the 9
Hey.
Club, dude.
Even
Wait,
more
so-
promotion.
Is it
Brings the
just these
value
5, or is there more than that? There's got to be
Nah,
more.
there's just 5.
Really?
Yeah. I did a series before where it was every pro,
Yeah.
and it was like fucking like 15 boards or some shit.
Jeez, that's a lot.
And
Yeah.
it's like that series now goes for like a couple G's on the internet.
Wow.
It all connects together.
I was going to ask you, you do all this artwork, and a lot of the art, you write Neckface on it. Do you actually sign it as well, or do you just let that be the signature when you write Neckface, like you did on this?
Yeah, I mean
thing?
that one's like I usually don't write my name on the front. I'll write it on the back.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
yeah. I was
Like on a
wondering about
painting,
that.
I don't write it on the front. I write it on the back.
Right on
back
the
of that
back.
thing.
Okay. Huh. Interesting. And what's it?
This one's on the front though.
Yeah. No, I like it. Like I said, it's coming home with me. What about Ty Evans? He was like going to make a documentary, or he is making a documentary about you. What's
It's
going on?
still in
with
the
that?
works, dude.
It's
These
been like years.
drones are getting in the way. Come on, Ty, quit playing with them drones.
Well,
Get
he's
back
like-
to filming,
He's
dog.
shooting you from a helicopter right now.
Well, he's
Yeah.
doing like another one with Nija too.
If Ty wasn't filming me, Nija wouldn't even have shit. Nija's getting filmed because I've been getting filmed.
But Ty's seriously been filming you for how long? Like years.
So I met Ty when I was probably, I would say, I think 18 or 19 or some shit. And the way I met Ty is because he had a like a website called Skate Fairy,
Yep.
where he would put like clips, photos, and shit. It was like Tumblr. It was like
it was his blog.
It was right when HD started
I'm trying
popping off,
to think of what I could compare it to these days.
It's kind of like a blog.
It was his
Like,
page,
it's
his Instagram
yeah,
page.
Right.
It's kind of like
And-
Trail Tap in a weird way.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, And it was called Skate Fairy, and then this fool started bootlegging my shit. He like found one of my graphics on the internet or something, and he made shirts. And I was like, this dude's making shirts. And so I got his number from somebody, and I hit Ty up. I was like, yo, this is Neck.
Did you know who Ty was?
I know who Ty
You
was.
know, okay.
I'm a skateboarder.
No,
I know
I'm
who
just-
all these fools
I
are.
know.
Yeah.
I know, I'm
But
just asking.
I didn't know him personally, so I was
Yeah.
like, called him out. I was like, yo, you making bootleg shirts of my shit? And he's like, oh, no. He's like, I just made a couple for some friends or whatever. He's like, I ain't selling them or whatever. I was like, oh, it's all good. Like, and then he picked me up the next day, and we went skating, and I met like Costin, Carol. Like, we went skating with the girl team and
Sick,
shit.
yeah.
And I'm just like skating around. All these fools, they all knew who I was because my graffiti's everywhere
Now,
and in
yeah.
skate spots and shit. So I'm like thrown in with all these dudes that I look up to,
Were you
you know,
tripping?
all the sickest skaters. Yeah, hell yeah. And but I don't fan out.
Right.
I wasn't like, hey, whatever. It's just like, you know, being in the same schoolyard as like Carol was like, that's it. That's good enough for me.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Seriously.
And then, but Ty, when I met him, he was like, I want to film you for 10 years. And I was like, okay, like, let's do it.
Okay.
And then, yeah, we just started filming. Anytime I would have an art show, I'd hit him up. He'd come out and film me, like, making.
Why do you think he
the
said
work.
like, he wanted to film me for 10 years though?
I don't know, dude.
Just saw potential in you.
Yeah, I mean, he likes my shit. I like his shit, and it was like, I think he just wanted like a special project to do, and yeah, he's
long-term documentary.
yeah,
Yeah.
And then it's been more than 10 years. I was 19, and he's got baby footage of me, like before I started drinking and shit. And then when I started drinking, and then like all these big shows and like going out painting on the streets, like he's got a lot of footage. So basically, when I die, that shit's coming out.
Don't you want to see it first? You trust him.
He lived it.
I know, but
Yeah.
still, I want to see the.
I want to see the end, the part where I
wanna
die.
You want to know what happens. in the
Fast
end.
forward.
Man,
But,
that's amazing. Hopefully, man. When was the last time he filmed you?
Well, we did this thing called The Last Maniac,
Oh yeah.
and it was Ty had all this sick ass equipment, and he's like, I want to film you doing this, and I was like, let's do it. And The Last Maniac is about the last maniac in Los Angeles, and basically it's me, and I'm like smoking some kind of superpowered drug or something, and I just get like revved up, and I just start fucking shit up, and I got homeless superpowers. I'm like breaking through walls, exploding fire hydrants, flipping cars and shit.
Yeah.
And like just going off. And look it up. It's called The Last Maniac.
Yeah,
and
it's sick.
Ty just had all this sick ass equipment that he wanted to use, and then I was the guinea pig, gladly. Yeah, and it came out sick. We had a premiere and shit.
Oh, yeah.
But he's got a lot of footage, dude.
Man.
And anytime I have like a project, I hit him up.
Hit him
He
up.
comes out and
A
films.
little behind the scenes shit
Yeah.
too. It's amazing.
That's sick.
Man, I wish somebody would have been filming me all these years.
Someone was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who.
Someone was wasting their time.
Waste of time, Nick. Let me tell you. You're sitting on your couch again? That's what they say.
Yeah.
If they film me. What else do we have? What about jail? Do we have any jail stories? What's going on?
What do we have about
you've been to, yeah, every jail story is pretty good.
Yeah, I got a couple of them.
Well, you said
So-
the one in Costa Rica was Airbnb.
No, Costa
Costa
Mesa.
Mesa.
Costa Mesa. I'm
Costa
sorry.
Rica would be a different one.
Slip
Yeah.
of the tongue.
I haven't done that one
Costa
yet.
Mesa.
I haven't
Costa
checked
Mesa.
that one off the list yet.
Airbnb Costa Mesa jail.
Costa Mesa was like, so when I got bagged for that one, I grabbed the toilet paper roll, and I was using that as a pillow.
Okay.
It's a classic jail move. I was using that as a pillow, and I'm sleeping, right? And then there's these two Mexican dudes in there who got raided. They're selling drugs and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And in the middle of the night, this fool starts tapping on my shoulder. He's like, I'm like, oh, shit. I don't know what's about to go down right now.
Bandit.
I was like, uh-oh. And I wake up, and I'm like, am I going to fight this dude? Is he going to try to make out with me? What's about to go down? And then the dude's like, just needed to take a shit. Oh. And I was like, I got you, dude. I was like, here you go. I gave him my pillow.
Broke him off a couple squares.
I just gave him the whole roll. I was like, here you go, dude. Like, go handle your business. He fucking takes a shit.
Did
And
he
then
give
I'm
you it
like,
back?
I'm like sleeping and shit. And then I feel the tap again, and I wake up, and he just gives me the toilet paper back, put it back under my head, and go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Was that you said that was 2 days, right? 2
Yeah.
days.
And then I got out, and then I had to do court. I went to Soltec, and I got some Costin S's. Some like all black. When he did all these like plain looking ones.
It was like costing 6 or something like that. It's like later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I got those. I was like, these are good for court right here. I was like, these look like some court shoes.
Dressing up.
Yeah, so I dressed up in court, and I had some chick braid my hair. I had a braided ponytail and went in the court, and then this dude was in front of me, and he said, one thing you ain't supposed to say when you go to court is sorry. Don't ever say sorry in court.
Huh.
I heard this kid in front of the judge saying some shit to him. He's like, yeah, I know, I'm sorry. And he was like, sorry? He's like, if you were sorry, you wouldn't have done the crime. Fucking da-da-da. He went off on this kid, right? I was like, God damn. I was like, I ain't saying sorry. I was like, I went up and fucking, she said all my shit. I was like, okay, all right, cool. And then I got off pretty easy.
Okay.
And whatever. That was Costa Mesa.
Yeah.
First time I got arrested was in New York City on 7th Street. And 7th Street was a bad street for me.
No good.
No good. Because
Got your number?
later on I ended up meeting this chick that lived on that same block and then just went crazy.
Okay.
Like on some like breakup shit or some fucking thing, right? 7th Street.
No good.
Don't go to 7th Street. And they sell heroin on that street.
What were you doing? Throwing up a little tag or something?
Yeah, a tag, and then I got rolled on by some undercovers who were just in the car, like whatever. And then I get bagged. They take me to Central Bookings. It was hot out, but it's fucking freezing down there. The tombs are always cold.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm in there, right? And I'm like, fuck, like whatever. And then there's this big ass kid. He's like probably 18 or some shit, and he's like huge, this huge kid, and he comes up to me and he's like, he's asking everyone what they're in there for. Mm-hmm. And then I had said, I forget what I was telling people, like skateboarding or something stupid. I wasn't saying graffiti, right?
Yeah.
And then I see this kid coming up to me, huge kid, and he's like, hey man, he's like, what'd you do? What you in here for? And I was like, I just felt like I had to tell him. I was like, graffiti. And he's like, oh, word? He's like, what do you write? And I told him, and he's like, that's you for real? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, hell no, man. He's like, I see your shit everywhere, man. This dude that I sold some shit to, I seen your shit right above the fucking bridge and all this shit. And he became my homie in there. This big ass dude, right? And then that was like my homie in jail, right?
Okay.
And then he's like my protector and shit. And there's sketchy ass fools in there in Central Bookings, New York City. And then me and this dude are homies and shit. He's talking the most shit. Like he's rapping in there and shit. He's going off. It was pretty sick.
He's a local.
And then get out. I do community service. Tompkins Square Park, the park that all you guys did your little benefit and shit for. I've cleaned that park so many goddamn times.
Oh, seriously?
For community service. That should be fucking named after me, dude. I clean that park like a I'll tell you something. If you have to do community service in New York City, do that shit in the wintertime because there's no trash. Nobody goes to the park. There's no trash. There's no dog shit. It's all you do, you just go there, you fucking get an ice pick, and you have to break ice. It's the easiest.
Good advice.
Do it in the wintertime. Yeah. Summertime, no bueno.
No good.
And do not do the subway in the summertime because you go in the subway cleaning up trash. It's hot as fuck in there. So wintertime, outdoors, do it. And find out who your community service, the boss or whatever. Mm-hmm. Just pay attention and see what they're eating in the morning. Bacon, egg, and cheese is what mine ate. I'll get a bacon, egg, and cheese before I show up to fucking community service. Here you go. And then he'd be like, he's like, thanks, man. He's like, just go over to the park and get lost till we got to sign out. I'm like, all right. So I was running off to the edge of the park, and then I'd stash my garbage bag, and then I'd go and just cruise around, put up stickers, write on some more shit.
Wow.
And then, oh shit, it's fucking like 3:00, time to go check out and sign out. I'll go find a trash can, like not in the park, put all that trash in my trash bag and show up with a full bag. And the dude was like, sign me out, and I'm out of there.
Just for a bacon, egg sandwich.
Bacon, egg, and cheese,
bacon,
man.
egg, and cheese.
And then, so during that time, community service at Tompkins is this famous artist named Dash Snow. He's a graffiti writer who wrote Sace. And super famous guy. I knew who he was. He didn't know who I was. Okay. This is still like people don't really know who I am in New York. And he got busted for graffiti too, but he got like a breaking and entering charge or some shit.
Oh, wow.
But he got bagged, and then he's doing community service, and then I get paired up with them. They pair us up, and then some dude asked me, he's like, what'd you get in? What are you in here for? And I was like, I'm gonna say graffiti. I was saying some other. I kept changing my story. But I was like, I know who this dude is. Like, maybe if I say Graffiti, he'll know, whatever.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, Graffiti. And the dude was, and Dash was like this, looked at me like, oh, what? And then they're like, oh, yeah, what do you write? And I told him Neckface. And then he was like, oh, like he was like, like he found out who I was right then and there.
Wow.
And they paired us up, and I knew who he was, and we're like going around talking shit. We're like getting frozen dog shit and throwing it at cabs. And then he tells me, he's like, hey, by the way, I write Sace. And I was like, I know. And he was like, how do you know? He was like, what? And I was like, oh, I just know, whatever. And then we became like homies right there. And this is before anyone like really knew who I was in New York. And then this dude, Dash, he went around to all his homies and his crew, and he pretty much vouched for me for like all of downtown. He was like, yo, fucking, I know who Neckface is. It's just like this little Mexican metalhead. Like, he's a sick kid. Like, we did community service together. Okay. And so when I met all these like ill graffiti writers and like other like big downtown guys, they're like, oh yeah, you did community service with Dash. Like, you're the homie, whatever. Oh. So he kind of put me on and shit.
Vouch for you.
Rest in peace, Dash Snow. And then that was in New York. Oh, so the blackout happens in New York, the famous blackout. I'm walking across the Williamsburg Bridge with this chick that I'm trying to holler at, right?
Okay.
And then I'm like, we're walking across the bridge. It's hot as fuck out. And then I hear, yo, Neckface. Yo, Neckface. And I turn around, and it's the big ass dude from Central Bookings.
Yeah, right.
My homie from the Tombs, dude.
Okay.
Huge. Big ass dude. And he comes up, he's like, man, fuck that place. I had to do community service, fucking all this shit. I just got done doing this bid, fucking whatever, like thugged out dude, right? And then we're walking across, he's rapping, he's talking shit, whatever. And he's like, all right, Nick, I'll catch you later. And he just keeps walking. And then this girl that I was with was like, who was that? And I was like, no big. I was just locked up with the homie. Like,
shit.
No big deal. She's like, really? Like, got all psyched and shit. Okay. Girl's like,
bad boy.
Yeah, bad boy, dog.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was that story. And then the next time I got arrested, let me see. I got arrested in Boston. And I was out in Boston. I got some friends from Needham. And so we'd go into the city and then start painting in the city, and we're painting on the highway. And I was like, fuck that. I want to be right where the cars are. So I'm right next to the cars, like on the highway in the medium.
Oh,
painting shit. And then these fools are painting like a little bit deeper, like across the tracks and shit. And I'm doing my shit, and I look over the pillar, and I see these dudes getting wrapped up. I see them getting bagged. I'm like, oh shit. And then I look back, or I look to the side, and I see the cop coming after me. Oh. I'm like, oh, hell no. So I fucking jump over the fucking barrier, and I run across 4 lanes of freeway traffic. I'm fucking running. I'm like, this fool ain't gonna chase me, fucking fat ass. I'm like, I'm out of here. I jump, boom, I'm running, and then he's coming. Oh. He comes right across the highway after me, and in the middle divider, he fucking gets me right at the middle divider, and bow, he slams my ass on the medium. I'm like, boom, hit my fucking chest on the barrier and shit. And then
cars are still zipping by.
He fucking stops the cars or what, I can't remember, but puts me in the paddy wagon. My homies are in the paddy wagon, like 2 dudes that I've been to jail with the most. Okay. Like, these dudes are like
bad luck.
Not bad luck. We roll together all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
But so we get in the paddy wagon, and whatever, we already know not to say shit in the paddy wagon, like whatever, maybe they're listening or some shit. Okay. So we get in there, and it's me and my homie, and then our other friend, we're like, damn, I thought our other friend was getting wrapped up. And as soon as we say that, we hear boom. We're like, what the fuck? And the whole paddy wagon shakes, dude. And then he gets in, and then later on we found out that he was like, he got loose a little bit, and he was running, and then he was like, he ran kind of towards the paddy wagon, and he was like going like this to like stop himself for the paddy wagon, and the cop went pulled his hands down, and he just went bow and hit his face on the paddy wagon. And then
man.
They brought him in and shit, and then we're in there and nobody's saying shit, and then we get let out. The fucking cop opens the door, and he's like, you fucking idiots, we heard everything. You're going, fuck, we heard you talking about fucking da-da. And we're like, yeah, whatever, dude. Like, fuck, we didn't say shit.
Right.
Yeah.
This fucking dude thinks he's fucking Charlie Bronson or something. And then, so we're in jail in Boston, and whatever. We're like in our own cells and shit, and then we're just like, I'm in there with homies, so it just becomes like some like. We're just like, it's fun now.
Yeah.
We're like making beats on the wall. Boom, boom, and
You're
we're
making the
eating-
best of it.
They're like, shut the fuck up and shit. Like, whatever, like eating donuts and shit. They gave us donuts, and then I was like, you gonna eat your donut? To my homie, he's like, nah, you want it? And he fucking puts his hand out of the cell and he goes, slides it, and I catch that shit on the other
ground?
side. Yeah. And I go eat this donut and shit. And then
your big homie showed up.
big homie wasn't there.
Okay,
But so we get out of there, right? And another part of the story. We could have bailed ourselves out. It was like $80 to bail yourself out.
What?
Some shit like that. Yeah. It was like
$80?
something stupid, like I'm pretty sure it was $80 to bail yourself out.
Okay.
Right? It wasn't that crazy of a charge, or I don't know what the fuck. But we were at the dog track earlier that day betting on fucking sausage fingers, and that fool came in third place and fucking lost all our money. We all didn't have money. So our homie's aunt had to come and bail us out and shit.
Oh.
And then I think I gave her like $100 or something, like, oh, sorry for your trouble or some
a
shit,
tip, yeah.
which is like even more of a diss. But yeah, we didn't have any cash on us because we were betting on dogs earlier that day.
How many days did you spend in jail?
That shit was like a day and a half or some shit.
Okay.
And then we got out, and then when they got us out, they were like telling us about all the community service, where to go to court, and the cop was being like a dick. He's like, so you know how to get to the courthouse? And I was like, no. And he's like, you're gonna go left on this street and don't do graffiti there. And he's like, and then you're gonna go right on Columbus or some shit. And he's like, don't do graffiti there. He's like being a smartass, right? And then he's like, then you go straight, and then you'll end up at the courthouse. And then I was like, and then we do graffiti. And he was like, and then I'll kick your ass or some shit.
Throwing it right back at him.
And then they were like, you got to do like 1,000 hours community service or some shit. And I was like,
1,000?
yeah,
That's
some bullshit like that. I was like, I'll see you next week. And I never went back.
So you're not going to Boston anytime soon?
We've had Baker trips on there. I'm like, hey, I got to get out in Rhode Island or some shit. They're like, why? We need you for the demo to announce that shit. I was like, I ain't going to that one.
What's the statute of limitations on that? Like, doesn't it run out or something after a while?
Yeah, but that shit pops back up.
Does it?
That's just from the movies.
Okay.
Was that a long time ago?
Yeah, that was in like probably 2007 or some
I wonder
shit.
if there's a way to check. Is there a way to check, like if you have like a warrant out in some place?
There's an app for it.
Neckface.
There's an app for it.
There's an app for it. No, I don't know.
I don't know either.
But I don't need to go back to Boston.
I get you.
It's all good.
Well, Plymouth Rock, you could. That's there if you want to tag on that.
Plymouth Rock. I don't know what that is. That sounds like a drug. And then the other time I got arrested, this is the gnarliest one.
Oh, okay.
Miami,
Ooh.
Dade County.
Damn.
Fucking gnarly, dude. That is the gnarliest jail I have ever been to in my life.
What made it so gnarly?
All the people in there, holy shit. It was, dude, that place is fucking crazy. Overcrowded. Fools are wilding out. It's like every Rick Ross rap coming to life. Like crazy, dude. So what we were doing, like, we went for Art Basel. That's why people always they invite me to Art Basel. I'm like, every time I go to Art Basel, I go to jail. I ain't trying to go to no Art Basel, dude.
Yeah.
I get wrapped up on some dumb shit. But we were like being bad, dude. We play this game called High Stakes, where it's like, high stakes is like, I do something and the next person does something. They gotta one up you.
One up it.
So this fool lights off fireworks on the sidewalk on South Beach, like on the main street where fucking like Versace got killed or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lights off fireworks, some mortars and shit, right? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it right in the middle of the medium. I'm gonna do it in the middle of the street. And boom, like I'd light them off in the middle of the street, and they're going off, and people are like dude, we should have got arrested like 20 times before we actually did.
Oh, shit.
And then it got to the point where we were shooting mortars at fucking dudes driving by in convertibles and shit. We're like, shooting shit at people driving by in cars and shit. Like,
This must have been around 4th of July.
nah, I always have fireworks,
Okay,
remember?
Oh, my bad. Oh, yeah, M80s. That's right.
It's in his pocket.
I stay strapped. So we were being bad, dude. We should have went to jail like 20 times before we actually did. And then so later on in the night, we have like a big ass bottle of Grey Goose, and we're like thinking about painting. We're like, let's go check out this spot to go paint. And it's like this abandoned like building or something. And we jump over the fence, and we're like looking like, oh yeah, you could maybe do something right here. I'll do something over here, whatever. We don't even have paint on us. And then we're in there, and then fucking like 5 cops jump over the fence with guns drawn. And they're like, on the ground, fucking all this shit. And I'm like, I was already like kind of by the fence. I was like, oh shit. So they didn't see me. I dipped by the fence, like the fence we climbed over. Say this is the fence.
Yeah.
Fence we climbed over. I laid down in the crack of the fence.
Oh, wow.
Right? In the dirt.
Try to lay low.
I'm laying low, and I always wear black, obviously.
Yeah.
And then my friends are getting bagged, and they got handcuffed and shit, and they open up the fence, and in Miami, it's a felony trespassing charge over there, right?
Oh, okay.
So it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Trespassing.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching these fools get arrested in the crack of this fence. I'm like, oh shit, I'm scot free. Like this fool didn't see me, and this fool climbs over climbs right over me. Like I'm laying there, and the dude climbs right over me, and he's climbing over the fence. And when he's like almost over the fence, he looks down and sees me. He's like,
no.
you motherfucker, he says. And he lets go and drops from the fucking 12-foot fence or whatever onto his knee, onto my chest. Bow!
Oh.
And he gets my ass and fucking, he's like, you thought you could get away or some shit? And I was
You're like, you
"Fuck."
almost did.
I got to
Yeah.
get a nap.
Fuck.
So I get fucking hemmed up, and once again, I'm in jail with these dudes that are
Your
my
buddies.
homies, right?
Yeah.
And we're all in there at the same time. Thank God that we're in there together, because Dade County's no joke. And so we go to jail, right? And we're in the felony cell. Like there's like felons here, and there's misdemeanors over here. Like, and then these fools come out with the fucking big ass jug of red water. It's like Kool-Aid. They were calling it Jim Jones in there.
Okay.
Like, give us that Jim
Okay.
Jones. And they're like, you get free Kool-Aid pretty much, right? And then they gave it to the misdemeanors, their cell. They had it first, and they're like filling up their cup and shit. And then all these fools in the felon cell, they're like, hey, like give us the fucking bring that Jim Jones over here. We're felons. We got a crazier charge. We got a bigger charge. Why don't we get it first?
Yeah.
Whatever, right? And then while we're in there, there's like all these barracks or whatever where they sit up and shit. And at the top, there's this big ass white dude. Like, you seen Mindhunter?
Oh yeah.
There's that big white dude.
Yeah.
And he's got glasses on and
Yeah,
shit.
big ass
This
fool.
dude looked like that.
Oh, shit.
And he's sitting at the top by himself, right? And then everyone's like, I don't know what the fuck that dude did. He was just like sitting there like this, just like
Staring.
yeah.
Did not
I'm
look
like,
good,
we ain't
yeah.
fucking with that guy.
Yeah.
And then so we get the Jim Jones, the water, drinking it, and then there's this kid in there who was like a little skinny, like hipster kid. And then he had like a M&M's vintage shirt on, the candy M&M's,
Yeah.
not the dude.
Yeah.
And then he's like, the dude's crying in jail. He's like, shirt over his face. He's like,
Oh shit.
he's crying like that. And I was like, oh my God, dude. The one place you're not supposed to cry
Yeah.
is here. Like, you idiot. Like, what the, like, and then he's like crying, like bawling and shit. And then like these huge ass dudes were like, shut the fuck up, motherfucker. Like, motherfuckers in here got real reason to cry. Shut the fuck up. And he's like, I don't care. He's like, my mom's getting me out of here. And then they'd be like, motherfuckers in here don't have moms. Like, they were going off on this dude, right? And then they started spitting on this dude.
Oh, wow.
And they were calling him Prince. And he's just getting picked on. And good thing he was in there, because they would have been fucking picking on us.
Oh, he took it away.
Took the heat,
took
dude.
the heat.
They're like spitting on him and shit. They're like, shut the fuck up. And just being gnarly to this dude. And he was like, I was like, dude, that's your bad. You ain't supposed to be crying in jail.
Yeah.
Like, watch a movie or some
Right.
shit. Like,
Jeez.
that shit is real. And basically towards the end of the bid there, like we seen this dude on pockets. And what on pockets means is he was holding this dude's pocket.
Fuck.
And he's like, the dude's like walking around talking, like, motherfuckers, this whatever. And then this dude's holding his pocket. He's reversed pocket.
Yeah.
His pocket's hanging out, and this dude has to hold, he's basically his bitch. And he's holding this dude's pocket. And I don't know what the fuck was happening, but he was like, maybe he was like protecting him, or he's like, this is my bitch or some shit. But yeah, he was on pockets. And then like, I'm in there so bored with my homies. And we got fucking, they're giving us like bologna sandwiches and shit. And then like, I ain't eating no bologna sandwiches or whatever. So I take the bread and I'm like making sculptures out of the bread and shit. I'm like Escape from Alcatraz and shit. I'm trying to make my own head out of bread. Right. But now we're making sculptures out of the bread and shit. And there was like, we had like a little game, like making little bread balls and throwing them into like this cup. Okay. Like just occupying our time, right? And then we get thrown into general population, and we're like, they give us a uniform. Like we straight got uniforms and shit. And we're in there, and these fools are watching Florida State versus whatever, some other Miami team or some shit. And it's going off in there. It's like fucking the beginning of Scarface. You know, when they're all in that fucking, that camp or whatever? Yeah. It's like that times 10. Crazy. They're like, my fucking cousin's number 10. My cousin's number 42. Like, look at that motherfucker. Wow. Like, I went to school with that dude or some shit. Yeah. And then there's one dude, like, the way they changed the channel is they had a big ass stick and they fucking would change the channel. Like, the TV was way over there, like, in the guards room and shit. Like, that, they would let them watch TV and it was in black and white. And then it's time to go to sleep. And there's all these bunk beds. Boom, boom, bunk beds everywhere. I'm like, shit. I gotta find a place to sleep. So I go to this bunk bed that looks open to me. I go to the bottom bunk and I lay down in this bunk, and then this huge dude comes up to me. He's like, hey man, he's like, that's my bed. And I was like, all right. And I was like, is anyone sleeping under it? And he's like, that's all you. I was like, all right.
Under the bottom bunk.
I'm under the bottom bunk, dude. My face is this close to the fucking, this dude's ass. Sleeping at night. Inches like this, away. Right? And then eventually our homie who's from Miami, his aunt or somebody bailed us out, right? And we all get let out individually. Okay. And then we get out, or I get out maybe second or first, I can't remember, but I get out. And I get all my shit, and I go like, I go to the window and get your shit back or whatever. And then there was like fools like already ready to go back to hustling. They were like, man, I fucking lost so much money being in there for 4 days. Like I gotta get back on the streets. Fucking, I was like, God damn, you just got out, right? And so I get my shit. I don't know where the fuck I am in Miami. I get out, I go like this. I look that way and I look this way. I was like, I'm going that way. I fucking start running. Start running. I just start running. I don't know which way I'm going. I run like fucking 10, 15 blocks away from jail. That's how gnarly it was. I was like, I just got to get away from here. I just ran as far as I could before I figured anything out. And then figured out where I was at. And these dudes are like, yo, we're at this party or some shit. And I was like, all right, I'm coming. And I go to the fucking liquor store and I get Pro Club everything. Pro Club white tee, boxers, shirt. I ditched all my jail clothes and shit. And then I show up at this party and I might have still had like a bracelet on or some shit from jail. And then fools are like, where were you at? Like, I just got out. I'm out. I just got out on bail or some shit. Right, and they're like, what? And it just turned into like this crazy party and shit. And then, God damn. And then like, months later, maybe a year later or some shit, I'm at this big ass party at the Bowery Hotel in New York, and I'm with this girl, and then I'm like trying to impress this girl, and then this dude comes up to me, fucking hipster kid with the soggy beanie, you know, the beanies that draped back and shit, super weak, and he had some like weak ass fucking leather jacket on, like so whack. So this dude comes up to me, he's like, hey man, he's like, you remember me? And I was like, no. And then he's like, we were locked up together. And I was like, that's Prince, dude.
That was the kid who was crying.
Like, that's him. And then he was like, yeah, we were locked up together. There's fucking whatever, all this, talking all this shit, right? And I was like, all right, dude, cool.
Yeah.
And then he takes off, right? And then this girl was like, oh my God, you were locked up with him? Like, who's that guy or some shit? I was like, oh, hell no. I was like, let me tell you something about this dude. First of all, they were calling this fool Prince and spitting on him in jail. So he ain't even that tight.
Yeah.
So don't even think that dude's sick or whatever. I was like,
Oh my
that dude's the
God.
weakest dude ever. And then,
are the
yeah,
odds?
she wasn't impressed with him anymore.
Yeah.
Called him out.
Wait, what about, so when people ask you what you did in prison or like in jail, whatever, not prison, but like, do you switch it up based on the person that's asking you what you think they would think of you?
I tell him like in life, part 2 of my killing spree is about to continue go down right now. You ever seen Life?
No.
They're like just all talking like they all went in on some bullshit and like you're the why you saying shit? You're the one who killed Santa Claus, like all this shit. So, but yeah, I mean, I was switching it up. I don't know.
I don't know.
Play it by ear, dude.
Right.
Go there and you'll see what happens.
Yeah. What was Prince in there for?
Oh, he had coke on him.
Oh,
Cocaine. That's Shaun White.
dude, Neckface, bro. Listen, Necktoberfest
is
Right around the corner.
the
Yeah.
27th.
October 27th on a Sunday.
Black in Hollywood.
Black in Hollywood,
In the
Santa
parking lot.
Monica and El Centro.
parking lot.
In the parking lot.
That nobody knows exists, but
Nobody
there's a
knows
parking
exists.
lot there.
It's going to be sick. It's going to be a sick event. Everyone's going to go home with something.
Oh,
And you going to go home with something or you going to go home with a hangover?
do I have to? If I go, do I have to dress up?
Yeah, man.
What?
Come on, Chris.
What am I gonna?
It's
I don't-
Halloween,
Wig on,
dude.
Oh, I have a wig.
It's Halloween.
I have a
But
wig.
I'm having this big ass costume contest and I told fools to dress up as my characters or characters that I like.
Okay.
Which if you've been following me, you know some I got a lot of cartoon crushes.
You got a cartoon crushes.
I got Chitara from Thundercats, Baroness from G.I. Joe,
Okay.
Katana from Mortal Kombat. Who else do I like?
Sick.
April O'Neil. These are all my first
April
crushes
O'Neil.
from Ninja Turtles.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I got a lot of cartoon crushes. So
Okay. So you're into that anime.
yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Raj's into the POV, but you're into the anime.
Point of view.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be sick. It's gonna
That's
be
dope.
fun. I got a lot of stuff for everybody. Fucking, it's super cheaper. It's cheaper than my expensive shit.
There you go. Yeah, man.
So
Fuck.
everyone hopefully goes home with something. It's gonna be sick.
What about after Necktober? You got any plans for future stuff, future events? What's going on with you?
I got a trip. That I'm planning. Can't tell you more than that, but I got a trip.
That's
It's
it.
gonna be
It's a-
fucking legendary.
Just a trip.
sick.
Are we
Yep.
talking about in country, out of country,
skating,
out of country, in country,
out of country.
out of country?
Oh, sick.
Okay.
Sick.
Yeah.
Now we're getting somewhere.
What's up with the stuff you got right here?
Oh, so I got some shit that's coming out.
Oh, let's see it.
So this one is Stance is doing T-shirts now. They already killed it in the sock game. Now they're making T-shirts
And underwear game.
And
Oh,
underwear
yeah.
game.
Oh,
yeah.
And I'm head to toe Stance. So you know my address. Send the check. Hey, but
Let's check it out. What do you got?
here's the shirt.
Rip everyone.
That's it?
Yeah.
RIP everyone, because this is for now and for the future.
For the future. All right. Let me see that thing. Can I see that? I want to see a Stance shirt. I want to see what it looks like.
That's
Oh,
basically, the underwear that you've been wearing. That's
same-
it on a shirt,
bro.
That's pretty sick.
That feels
feels
good.
good,
Yep.
That's a good shirt.
RIP everyone, dude.
When does this come out?
This comes out probably when this episode comes out. And then I got some more shit.
Okay. Long sleeve tee. Look at that. That feels good, Raj.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Soft.
This one is Necktoberfest official tee right here.
That's a pretty small shirt. What is that?
This is size small, man. This is for the chicks.
okay. Necktoberfest.
Yeah.
Let's see the back.
Oh,
of it.
damn, dude.
Oh, that's sick.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That's so sick.
Dope.
This is the
dude.
Necktoberfest official tee right here. We're
Let's
gonna
say
have
in the back here. Fuck, I'm going.
Into black.
I'm going to black. Because the monsters. Usually I have like dude monsters taking over and shit.
Okay.
But since it's 2019, I switched it to a girl.
Oh, I like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Girls got monsters
Is
too.
this one that you have a crush on?
I I've been with something like that before.
So official Necktober,
Necktoberfest tee right there.
and you could buy these at Black.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, you can buy those at Black. I got every size.
Did you write S on there?
Yep.
Is that small?
That's for small.
Okay.
And then we got another one that's coming
do we
out for
got?
Necktoberfest. I got a new zine coming out with my homie Weirdo Dave. It's called Trust Us, You're Dead Part 2.
Yeah, I like that name, Weirdo Dave.
Was Weirdo Dave one of the first dudes you met in Brooklyn?
No.
No.
Weirdo Dave is just a weirdo.
Hence the name.
Yeah, and he makes these zines called Fuck This Life, and he's been making them for years.
Sick.
And we kind of like bonded off of that, and just like we got the same mind pretty much. And these zines, all this shit that you see in here, all these images are all we went out and we found these. There's no Google search. There's no shit printed off the internet. Oh. This is all like hand cut, laid out by us, dude.
Sick.
No computers were harmed in the making of this. And a lot of people, and I actually made these zines.
Is that coming out?
Yeah, this comes out on Necktoberfest too.
Oh, this is all Necktoberfest.
Yeah, that comes.
Gotcha.
I made that zine at Kinko's. I'm actually like printing these out, and like there ain't nobody making these things for me.
No
And
way.
if they did, it don't count. So
I love
make
that,
your
dude.
zines legit, dude. Don't be fucking Google searching and resizing your shit. Get the images, glue them down, and print that shit at Kinko's yourself. Don't be fucking turning it in and being like, hey, can you make this into a little book for me? That shit don't count.
Yeah.
I love the forward in this. Code name Fuck This Life. File name Weirdo Dave.
Yeah.
Code name Nasty Neckface. File name Dead Baby.
Yes, sir. That's my government name.
Dead Baby. That's your government. Okay, that's what's on the birth certificate.
And then I give a shout out to Bella Hadid.
oh, where
You know
at?
who that is?
Yeah, Bella Hadid. Yeah. Where is it?
In the beginning, dude, that's my secret crush. Hopefully
Oh, special skill can always win on claw machines.
Claw machines, yep.
Oh, that's a good one. Firework expert. We covered that.
True story.
Strategic
Arsonist, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Mortars and the thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Claim to fame. Said what up to Stevie Wonder at Michael Jordan's B-Day party once.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Stevie couldn't tell who he was though.
Yeah, I said, what up, Stevie? He was like, looking,
Of course,
looking
yeah.
around. I was
Yeah.
like, damn, that was kind of, I shouldn't have said that.
Secret crush Bella Hadid.
Yep. Hopefully she sees that zine and sees the 9 Club.
She's a fan
Yep.
of the show.
And
Yeah.
then this shirt's coming out as well. This is
Trust Us, You're Dead.
Trust Us, You're Dead in reverse. And here we got some of the highlight spreads of the zine on the back.
Oh, gotcha.
Kind of like a track list.
Yeah.
You know?
I like that. Ties it all together.
Ties it all together, man.
Perfect.
And we got these at Necktoberfest.
What size is that? Is
come
that
get
a
it.
large? Will that fit me?
What size is
Small.
this? This is a medium.
Neck, you don't bring any.
After you get on these bike rides with me,
Okay.
you'll be able to
That's
fit
where I'll
this.
fit into the medium.
Yeah.
Sick,
But
dude.
when you guys come to the event, I got you.
Yeah. How much is it? Does it cost money to get in?
No, it's always free.
Always free.
I always try to do my events free. So
Love
far,
that.
I've done it free,
Yeah.
and that's how it's gonna be.
Love that, dude.
And if I start charging, then something's wrong.
One too many silver Jason masks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Neckface, bro. This is big.
Finally on the 9 Club. Stop blowing up my goddamn DMs, man.
Incredible.
You got hit up a lot, huh?
So much. When you doing the 9 Club? Shut
Yeah.
your ass up.
He's here.
Don't worry about
Yeah.
it.
Got him.
Thanks for
working
coming,
on it.
man.
Hey, can we give you some 9 Club merch to
Yeah,
take
you
home?
can.
What do we got? Size small?
I'm size extra small, man.
Extra
I need a crop top now. I need a crop top.
No, what do we got? Large, extra large? What do you want?
XL, large on a good day.
So
Let's go with large,
Large?
because I'm
Okay.
gonna celebrate with some fucking donuts right after this.
perfect,
All
bro.
black?
Kelly, lace him up with some shit, bro. Man, this has been great, dude. Neckface. Thank you so much for our 9 Club with Neckface mural
incredible.
that you made with the pumpkins.
Yeah, that's gonna be a hard one to store unless you put it behind that bookshelf.
Is this supposed to be me, myself, Roger, and Kelly there, the 3 pumpkins?
Who's throwing up?
Maybe
I'd never
either
throw
Raj or
Usually
Kelly.
Kelly does.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kelly. That's Kelly.
Oh, so that's me in the middle, and then Raj is on his CBD or his hi-fi hops.
There you go.
Chilling.
Man, Neckface, dude. Listen,
Thanks for having me.
this mug is gonna look great with your artwork on it. Let me tell you.
It's coming.
Coming soon.
Yeah.
Dude, Baker 4. Can't wait to see
Baker
the
4,
neck
man.
tricks in it.
Let me tell you something. Nasty Neck has got some tricks in Baker 4. So watch out.
Here's a question though. Do you know, is there a friends section? Are you in somebody's parts? Are you sprinkled in somewhere?
I'm setting I'm setting the video off, man. I'm setting the tone,
You're
dude.
starting it off.
Andrew's put me in the beginning.
You know what the first part means?
This is the vibe of the video.
Fireworks involved?
Always. Fireworks. You know, I've seen some of the footage, and it's going to be sick. Baker 4, we're coming.
I'm really interested because it's always been VX, and now it's going to be HD. And everybody that's been on, like Beagle himself, was like, "Dude, it's going to just it's amazing. It's going to you're going to like the way it looks." Guarantee
I mean, if you're in the VX and you want to watch this shit in VX, then have like 10 of these. What are these called?
Hi-fi hops.
Hi-fi hops, dude. Everything will start looking in VX.
And a square.
And a square.
You know, Beagle, I don't even remember
I saw Beagle the other day riding his bike on the...
Oh, really?
Yeah, by the curb.
But I don't even remember when he was on the show. But it must have been well over a year, maybe even a year and a half, talking about Baker 4. Andrew Reynolds. I mean, this video is highly anticipated, dude. Thank you,
had Herman on.
Straight up,
Herman.
man.
We've had almost the whole Baker crew on.
Baker 4, we're coming at you. We got full parts from Cater. We got Rowan. We got Zach. We got T-Funk. We got all the dudes.
What about Figgy?
Figgy's up in there. Come on, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
Don't forget Riley Hawk.
Riley's up in there.
Riley's sick.
Yeah, squad,
Tony Hawk's
man.
son.
Tony Hawk's son.
Riley's dad. That was a sick board.
That was a
sick.
great board.
Riley's dad.
First of all, Neck.
Thank you guys for
Thank
having
you
me.
so
man.
much
so
for
much.
coming by, bro. This has been incredible. Here's
I ain't gonna wear that hat, but I'll take it.
give it to somebody.
I ain't
who,
I ain't got a forehead for that hat, man. I got a 2-head, dog.
First
if I
of-
put that hat on, my whole face disappears.
Here's a. We do have the beanies that lay back on your head.
Oh yeah,
You want one of those?
Go back to
Prince,
Dade County
yeah,
on
that
that.
Prince.
one.
Okay, my bad. Some stickers for your next
Board
piece that
setup.
you could tag on it and throw those up on the side.
Yeah.
Here's some
Little
Nine
mug.
Club logo mug and the Switch Flip Switch Manny mug.
That's new.
That's it's been around for a little while.
Sick.
That's what I'm saying. We haven't had any new merch for a while. That's why the new
you
Neckface
need me to do some
mug
shit.
is going to be fucking popular. We're going to do a whole. We're going to do hats, shirts, beanies,
Oh, jeez.
underwear, all the
You can
shit.
submit artwork to our site.
That's right. Here's a hat for your homies.
Let's open up those donations right now, man.
Let's open.
I want to get some cash out of this interview, dude. I've been here for 4 hours. Open up the donations. I want some 99-cent donations.
Here's yeah, we all do. Here's a large 9 Club tee
Large.
for you. Oh, two 9 Club tees.
Yeah,
There you
one's
go.
like the side.
Oh, we got a side print and a bar logo. There you go. Crew neck? You wear crew necks? Black crew neck.
Sure.
There you go. Sure.
I'll wear that shit.
This is the
Hoodie.
hoodie, bro.
That's the one
9
that's worth
Club
money, huh?
embroidered hoodie right there.
Oh, damn.
boy.
That
I
shit's
know.
nice.
We
Good
spent
job.
some money on this shit.
You guys got to have your own Necktoberfest soon.
That would be awesome.
Nine'toberfest.
Nine'toberfest.
There you go.
You know what though, man?
January.
I'm gonna say this though, man. You're a hard worker.
I'm a hard worker, man.
You do
And I'm
all
a
your shit.
skateboarder. Who
Yeah.
else you know is in the van doing miles
That's right.
and doing boards?
True.
Yeah.
and
That's
on
true.
planes
Man,
too. You're
and
not even
on
just in the
planes.
van. You're going everywhere with
I'm
these
everywhere
dudes.
like air.
like air.
That's actually really, really rad, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm on the streets. I'm skating.
I love it.
I'm in the van.
Tricks
I'm
in the
traveling
video.
the world. I'm in videos. Working for the mag. Come on, guys. Yeah. Writing's on the wall.
Finger on the pulse.